see, it's not just me.
Jack, why do you insist on doing this dumb internet shit on TV?
I look and see, it's not just me.
This place is a fucking joke, man. You're a clown. I quit.
So many of us have stood where we stand. We are the young, so raise your hand. So many of us have stood where we stand. We are the young, so raise your hand. They call us problem child. We spend our lives on trial. We walk an endless mile. We are the youth gone wild. We stand and we won't fall. We're one and one for all. The writing's on the wall. We are the youth gone wild.
No. It doesn't make logical sense, but it makes.
Well, yes, of course.
But it makes wrestling booking sense. Of course, this makes no sense. Of course, okay, it makes no sense. However, in pro wrestling booking, which often makes no sense, you would do that. It's about making money. It's not about anything else. Wrestling's always been about making money first and foremost. That's it.
Yes, I look and see, it's not just me.
Last weekend was the greatest weekend in AEW history. This is the greatest week.
I look and see, it's not just me.
Security, my safety, my life was in danger at a wrestling show.
So many of us have stood where we stand. We are the young, so raise your hand. So many of us have stood where we stand. We are the young, so raise your hand. They call us problem child. We spend our lives on trial. We walk an endless mile. We are the youth gone wild. We stand and we won't fall. We're one and one for all. The writing's on the wall. We are the youth gone wild. They call us problem child. We spend our lives on trial. We walk an endless mile. We are the youth gone wild. We stand and we won't fall. We're one and one for all. The writing's on the wall. We are the youth gone wild. Let me get wild. Yeah.
If you're familiar with how we do things often here on these Wednesdays, it's a lot like one of my favorite movies, Time Cop.
What? Fuck you. Fuck you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, Kurt Angle. Keep the change. Thanks. Whoa, what's gotten into this pizza? Hey, come on.
They square off. Tomato drop kicks. Pepper scoops him into an airplane spin. Big slam. Pizza Outlet. The taste that screams fresh.
Oh, man, that was beautiful.
Apparently, Maeda would go all over the world, and he would challenge people in circuses. That's where you fought. Dude, he was having MMA fights all over the world. He was famous. This is what Jean-Jacques told me. I think Kano was his master. Apparently, something like they didn't want him to take these fights in these circuses and stuff anymore. So he took a fight in Mexico, and he wore a mask so he wouldn't get busted. And he was the one who started the mask wearing in pro wrestling. Maeda started it.
Was it what they called the
That's what Jean-Jacques told me.
Libre?
Tell me how uncomfortable wrestling boots are, truly.
Well, mine are tailor-made for my foot.
Yeah, but you wore shitty boots over the years for sure.
Yeah, when I started, I borrowed someone's boots that were a size too small, and that kind of sucked. And wrestling boots are $400. Again, I was making $20.
Are they really $400?
I think they're up more now.
How often do you have to change them?
So I'm a weirdo, though, because I've kept the same design for my boots for my entire career.
You've never changed your design?
Yeah, I don't know why.
Is it laziness or is it content with it?
It's like this weird thing where I had them for like probably 12 years. I've had maybe 3 sets of boots. Each set lasts me about 4 or 5 years. And then at a certain point, I was like, wow, I've been wearing these boots for 10 or 12 years. I'm like, I think I'll just wear them my entire career.
That was, you made the decision.
But like, I also wore like tights my whole career. And then maybe 3 years ago, I started wearing like pants, not just the, spandex tights. So that changed. And I thought, well, if I'm changing my look, I should change everything. But the boots stayed.
And yet the boots remained.
Yeah. So I don't know what that is. I don't know what sickness in my head is just like the boots. No, like that's the constant.
for Jim Cornette's Strike Through. Sponsored by Stephen Paynew. Send an email to our crew, buy a cameo or two. It's Jim Cornette's Strike Through. Come and pull up to the window and we'll open up the screen. Watch as Corny cuts a promo on that bitch at Dairy Queen. Hear a Taylor's movie mountain and some stories from the South.
Then make like Vince McMahon and shove a sandwich in your mouth.
It's Jim Cornette's podcast. Taking questions you will ask. Talking wrestling from the past with his co-host Brian Last. It's Jim Cornette's podcast. Come see Nero, Kevin Pockets, Dino, Douche, and Chuckle Fuck. Felix, Reed, Baldwin, Buck, and Harpo Finger Fuck. And then there's Endless Twerking from good old Sunny Gifts.
And then there's Monkey Ito, she's the god of love and piss.
It's Jim Cornette straight through, knocking AEW. The Observer thinks it's fine, Uncle Davis lost his mind. We used to be on Monday, now we're not on Monday.
King Kong Bundy.
Jim Cornette straight through. Thank you.
I got a good Hunter story in terms of where I thought I'll never live that day. We were on the bus, and this is back when Hunter would be on the bus on the Europe tours. We're in the very back, and he's got his headphones in and noise canceling, but you can still hear the motor head. And I stood up to walk up to the front of the bus, and the bus turned, and it took a hard turn.
Oh, no.
And right as it turned,
Oh, no.
I fell towards Hunter, and my entire crotch was just locked into his face. And because of the gravity and the centripetal forces that are happening here, I could not get back. I couldn't pull myself back. And he's just going, what the fuck? Just like, and then we get to a straightaway.
The gravity.
Cheers to that. Cheers to that.
Great tasting Chef Boyardee Big Beefaroni. Open up a can for yourself.
Always asking me, Booker T, how'd you come up with that spinneroonie?
Booker, baby, time for your favorite Chef Boyardee Beefaroni. Chef Boyardee Beefaroni, out of sight. Stop that spinneroonie mess and get in this kitchen.
Yep, if it wasn't for great tasting Chef Boyardee Beefaroni, the spinneroonie would have never been born.
Everyone's excited about the great taste of Chef Boyardee Beefaroni, and that's beefaroni, not beefaroni.
Tell me you didn't just say that.
Say his name and he appears. I believe in Joe Hendry. I believe in Joe Hendry. 'Cause you're loving London and Paris and Tokyo, America, Scotland and Canada and Mexico. They say I believe in Joe Hendry. I believe in Joe Hendry.
I tell actually other wrestlers this who are like starting to come up now, just assume nobody knows who you are. And that's really the key to being a pretty good wrestler, is just assume somebody in this crowd, not somebody, because it's actually a guarantee. If you're performing in front of 8,000 people, I guarantee you at least 50 to 100 people who are there don't really watch wrestling, maybe don't even know what wrestling really is. Just assume aliens are here from another planet and they don't even know what they're looking at. If you assume that, then everything you do will be coherent. You can't take it for granted that they know who you are, they know your story, storyline. I'm just sitting in the crowd, and then you come out, and you have to kind of let me know what you're about, right?
Yeah, right away.
Even for me, especially because I'm on a pretty hot little run as a good guy at the moment, my music will hit, and I'll get this really loud, like, ovation. I'm like, wow, they really like me.
They know who I am.
Yeah, I'm like constantly surprised because I assume 0. And then I have to work to get them to 100. But if we already start at 50, I'm like, oh man, this is going to be fish in a barrel.
Yeah,
we only got to go from 50 to 100, but my goal is always to get them to 100.
Did you grow up idolizing wrestling?
Yeah.
You did?
I always wanted to be a comic, actually.
Did you?
Yeah.
No shit.
Yeah. It's just the same thing. It's like spectacle and performance.
Entertainment.
And it's the same.
You're actually a clown who's in shape. So that's a big difference.
Well, but
we don't have to be in shape to be clowns. You have to be in shape clowns.
I remember maybe it was like 2010 or 11. I barely used to work out when I was on the independents because like your physique wasn't as important. I just didn't work out that hard.
What are we talking, like twice a week?
Yeah, and like there'd be times I'd just go months without working out even.
Holy shit, that's
like,
wild.
but I was scrawny, and it was like I was still getting cheered anyway. Part of the allure of that act was that I was kind of a scrawnier guy. I think there's an inherent sense of self-awareness that comics can play off, or like a good performer will play off. It's like, hey, I understand what you see, and I'm going to exploit that. You have to have the self-awareness and the presence of mind to know what people see, know what their expectations are, and therefore you can either use it, exploit it, or subvert it however you see fit.
That's just like us.
Right.
Same thing.
Right.
Ooh, what's happening, guys? Welcome to another eclectic edition of PWT Live Show, y'all. We have the Big Bang Theory on right now as we await for Dynamite that we're going to be watching tonight. And you guys can see the card there.
Best guys, Tony Khan.
And so we're going to lock in and try and enjoy some Dynamite. Again, there's some booking faux pas tonight. I want to quickly run through this card before we get into a jam-packed show full of news. Okay? A jam-packed fucking show. And I absolutely cannot wait to get into a lot of this stuff. There's no raging, screaming headlines in the world of pro wrestling in the last, at least since Monday. What did we do Monday? I am your host, Phil Marks, by the way, guys. Speaking of Monday, you can become a member for Member Mondays, 99 cents only. You get access to bonus shows. Make sure you guys hit like. Make sure you guys hit subscribe. Consider subscribing to my channels, youtube.com/@ProWrestleClips and @ProWrestleTimes. So we are almost at 7,100 subs on the Clips channel, which is pretty sick, which is like the main channel. It's where like my music videos and some of my other funny little one-offs come out. And that's awesome. So thank you guys so much for that. And what else do I have to plug, man? So I moved a pod I was going to do. We were going to do episode 99 of PWT Pod, but it's just moved back. But it's coming out. It'll come out. It's not recorded, but I just moved back the recording time. So that will go down. And that will be fun. And we had fun on Member Monday show. And what else? Patreon. Consider checking out Patreon. Where I recorded a vid for that, me reacting to some stuff. There's going to be some like longer EFAPs and things like that on Patreon, just stuff that like YouTube won't let, like without me getting striked or whatever the fuck, or getting a yellow flag, you know. Some of these people are just ruthless with it, especially now that they have AI detecting it all. It's sometimes pretty ridiculous, like for the amount I pause and talk, and then you're like, still I gotta edit this out or dispute it, but like, and I'd probably be right, but against these fucking big ass companies, is that worth it? Like, what if they decide not to drop it, and then you're like, oh shit, you know? So super chats are welcome. You can gift a membership and all of that good shit, and I appreciate you all for being here. Round of applause for the PWT universe being here tonight as people funnel in. We're going to go over this Dynamite card. And we're going to get into like news right off the rip because there's a whole gang of stuff to get to. Okay. Jonathan Maloney became a new member. Let's go.
Acknowledge me.
Make sure you enjoy Member Mondays. Those shows are always fun. I'm always like chopping it up with chat more. You know, Wednesday and Saturday, I try and stay like get all the news out and all the main key things and all the bits I want to do. And Monday is a lot of that as well. But it's a lot more of like chopping it up back and forth and hanging out and doing different shit sometimes. So excellent, Jonathan Maloney. Thank you so much. So let's get into we have some stuff to get into as people file in. I know that pre-show is a little long too. I was just getting some water. I still need to get some coffee here, but I think lovely Mrs. Marks will handle all that. Okay. So this card, man, let's take a look at it. There was like 4 matches announced beforehand, and then Tony Khan added one more. And it's the 500K 10-man tag. So whenever he can't call something all-star or what's some words he's used? I think just all-star, right? But no, there was another one. He was like a fantabulous 5-man tag. What was it? Whatever. We'll remember it. Someone will say it in chat. But a 500K, like he'll just throw up like, here's money on the line for this match. Now, I'm not like opposed to that either. Like that's sort of an old school thing, but the problem is that he just goes to it last second, and it's almost like he planned these 4 matches out throughout the week, or somebody else maybe had some input, and then all of a sudden he gets to work and he's like, oh, main event, or just whatever. This will probably open the show because that's what they always do. But or I bet Hangman maybe and Josh, because Tony always likes to do a good promo. So like Hangman will cut a promo, and then I bet him and Alexander go out there and have a banger, right? But just the Bucks and the Death Riders teamed up again. Changes nothing. Like none of the last pay-per-view changed anything. We're just getting the trios champs and the tag champs. Instead of the tag champs developing the tag division, or the trios champs developing the trios division, we have them all just clumped together to fight the Death Riders and the Bucks again, because they're just clumped together again, even though the whole purpose, like the whole thing of why Hangman Adam Page winning that fucking title should have been impactful was because it's like the end of the Death Riders reign, and the Bucks lose the EVP privilege and everything, and now they're just in $500,000 10-man tags. Tony Khan's on like a 2-day Vegas bender. Oh yeah, betting on horses, you know. Oh yeah, just throw them in there, $500,000. What the fuck, you know? So it's all good, man. I'm okay with like the money's on the line. It's different. He just does it so much, so it means nothing. We know they're not really getting the $500,000. Here's what Tony could have done differently than every other promoter and actually balled the fuck out on everybody. He could do these $500,000 100K matches here and again and build up to them and put value on them. Or maybe he does it during the football season to try and keep ratings around every year. Hey, we're going to have the 500,000 tournament, and he could really cut that extra fucking check. He could really do it for a shoot, that part for a shoot, pay the winner. And that would be different and cool, and for the boys, and people would be like, holy shit.
The best guys, Tony Khan.
You know, Ricochet, come on down. Dax Harwood, come on down. You know they'd be winning those shits, but that would be cool. But instead, it's just like clumped together the same main event we would have got before All In, the same shit. I mean, okay, all right. And I love Joe. I don't know if this is the main event. I like Bandito. Hobbs is cool. Shibata's just I don't know. He can't go crazy like he used to, nor do we want him to or need him to on this show. In Japan, it was cool. And then we have a grudge match, Alexander versus Paige. So again, Paige is just going to beat Alexander. And then Toni Storm in a Philly street fight against Sky Blue. Obviously, Tony's going to win this. Is the title on the line? Every time I ask this question, is the title on the line? The graphic doesn't say. The belts always ends up being on the line. So I guess maybe her title's on the line. I don't know, but Sky Blue doesn't need to be in street fights again already. She just came back. It's not that long ago, and she's in this cool faction, and you're going to do this one-on-one Philly street fight bullshit. We've already seen Sky Blue get her leg broke, fall into barbed wire and a table and get trapped in it, take a weird bump on, I think, like Legos or Hot Wheels one time or whatever. What's going on? TBS champion Mercedes Moné takes and Emi Sakura, who again, now 5 years ago, I was like, hey man, Emi, you could push her. She could be the barrier between the Joshis that come in, because she trained a lot of them, so they can kind of position her as like an upper mid woman who brings in these Joshis as part of like storyline as well. Like some of her trainees are whatever. Like that's how I always envisioned it. She literally just shows up when they need a body to get pinned. She shows up out of nowhere when like let's say Monet wins the TBS title. Emi Sakura and I'm not shitting on Emi, and she's older too, man, and I'm not trying to be ageist here, but Emi Sakura, let's look it up. Age, just, hey, you never ask a lady's age. I'm asking Google. So unless Google's admitting to being a chick, no. She's 48, right? And she just shows up every now and again, and notice this too, when Rio shows up. And she trained Rio. So, again, she's just in this tag match to sort of heal with Monet to fight Alex Windsor because she's getting a push because, bruv, let's be honest, is she as over as some of the other girls in AEW? I don't know. I think they're just kind of forcing it on everyone. And then Rio's back. I'm not a big Rio hater. You guys know that. I mean, I laugh like when people, I don't know, Jim Cornette's like, oh, the pink doilies and the fucking, I mean, it pops me and shit. It's funny to laugh about, but I don't know. It doesn't trigger me that much in the women's division, at least. I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. Like Spike Dudley can work and shit. Like her style and shit works. She does like ninja shit. She'll walk the ropes and then run and do like a stomp or whatever. You know, it's not for her throwing the forearms. Yeah, it's cheesy and shitty. I get it. And have a women's cruiserweight division. No, that won't work, right? So where does she compete? Maybe she shouldn't at all, is what some people would argue. I would just argue, well, man, some people make it work, right? Marco Stunt is a legend. No. But like little Spike Dudley, I just look back to him. He made it work. So all I'm saying, though, is she's here to like pin Emi Sakura so that Mercedes Moné can run away and be like, what? I can't believe you pinned her. You know what I mean? It's just some bullshit like that. Emi Sakura shows up to like lose to the champion whenever. And same with Queen Aminata. So shout them out. And Emi, I mean, hey, just stick it out there. You're 48. I guess that's what you should be doing. But like, why isn't there a story? Why isn't there, just Emi's back after 2 years after I haven't seen her since she was fucking crying on at that All In Wembley show. She took a video, not this one, but the one before. She was all emotional and shit because she didn't get to wrestle there. Anyway, Shelton Benjamin versus Ricochet, two WWE guys who will have a WWE psychology-driven match, more than likely. And I bet that will be the match. I mean, Dave will be like, oh, Adam Page and Josh Alexander. Dave Meltzer will, but Benjamin and Ricochet, that should be a solid match. But what do I know? I'm just a loser, right, Ricochet? So maybe me putting you over all the time isn't the best look. Who knows? Okay. So that's our preview. chat. That is our preview. Let's get into some news, man. We have news and stuff. We have lots of news here. So sorry, I just got distracted because Kaylee Cuoco, I think I said that correctly. She's doing an ad for like Clash of Royal Kings mobile app game. And she's on The Big Bang Theory. And it was just odd seeing her, a brunette and aged a little bit. Oh God, I'm an ageist now. Am I ageist, chat? I keep bringing up ladies as ages. Okay, so I have my little notes here today. So what are we checking out? We're backed up everywhere, folks. We are backed up in news and miscellaneous news and all that good shit. And so we are going to get into that, ladies and gentlemen, all together at the same time. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm afraid I've got some bad news. It's actually good news.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm afraid I've got some bad news.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the miscellaneous news section of the show, and some of it's a little backed up. I mean, 1 week to the day, as you all can see here. Oh, that's me. That's my other channel, my pop culture channel. Consider checking that out. And some of it might be good, some of it might be bad, but either way, Matt Riddle had this to say after he had a week of catching shit from everybody within the IWC because of his comments about AJ Lee, saying she gets around, talking shit about CM Punk, and just many things, you know. And he says, I have no ill will toward. He was saying he could beat up people and shit. It's like, we know, dude. Anyways, Matt Riddle says, I have no ill will towards CM Punk. He's a nice enough guy, and you agree with it, but I don't think. All right, but I don't, and I think he's fake, and I think he's a creep, and that's coming from me. And people think I'm a creep, and I haven't done anything wrong. I don't know. I feel like he's just lingering around, man, like a fucking lingerer. Pineapple Express, fucking lingerer, man, just lingering around the NXT locker room a little too much, you know? And that's Matt Riddle. He told that to TMZ's Inside the Ring. He's lingering around the locker room too much. I don't know. It's kind of just kooky shit. Riddle's off and he's on one, and I don't think he'll ever get back to AEW. Like Tony's that's already a known thing. Tony won't touch the guy, and WWE's done with him, you know? And then he's talking all this shit, and he's like, oh, he's lingering around the locker room. And it's like, yeah, he's an old man, and he's going to transition into an office job when this is all done, and he's trying to like repair some of these bridges he burnt, like you, dude. But you should look to Punk and maybe call him or give him a text and ask advice and see how maybe one day you could make your way back there, brah. Moving along here. Here is a crazy ass botch. Shout out Triple H's thoughts. He always posts these crazy botches now. So they're like in a gym, one of those gyms with a stage in it, and then they're on top of the stage.
Oh boy! Oh!
And then he goes feet first into the barbed wire wood.
Oh boy! Oh!
Because he scoop slammed him half on the stage. And the guy's okay. But Jesus. So Matt Riddle had this to say. He's like, I have no problem with AJ Lee, but she did get around. AJ, you know, I have no problems with her. I'm a little fucked up myself, but she did get around from what I heard. But no disrespect to that. People like to hook up. Okay, then why'd you bring it up? Then why did this dumbass bring it up? That's my problem. But yeah, I get it. I've been everywhere, man. I've been everywhere. I've been everywhere, man. So I don't know, man. Matt Riddle just seems butthurt, and he seems angry at Punk and his wife, which is always creepy. Elena Black purchases her first house after OF success. So do with that info what you will. All Japan. So in some sad news, All Japan Pro AJPW wrestler Taishin Nagao, hopefully I'm pronouncing that correctly, passes away at only 21 years old, dude. And so condolences, a young lion. I don't know if they call them that in All Japan, but best wishes to him and his family. So here's some more Matt Riddle, bro. He has a cool setup there with the graffiti in the background and all that. But Molly Smith had this to say. She says, "This is such a sad and cautionary tale. Everyone, Matt Riddle had a ton of potential in WWE and wasted that all away on a bunch of things. He is bitter and jealous of anyone having more success than him. It's true."
How do you feel about it? How do you feel about AJ? She's coming around pretty soon as wife.
And these slimy TMZ cocksuckers, man. How do you feel about AJ too?
AJ,
Give us that dirt, man.
How do you feel about AJ? She's coming around pretty soon as wife.
I know.
Well, AJ, I have no problems with her. She never stepped into. I mean, to be fair, and I'm not one to talk. I'm a little snooty myself, but she did go get around, from what I heard. But no disrespect to that.
Oh boy.
Hey, it's whatever. People like to hook up, and if that's the worst thing you did, whatever, dude. I've done it too.
How do you feel about it? How do you feel about AJ? She's coming.
So what do you think about AJ? Oh, I heard she got around. It's like the Jerry Springer. It's some Maury Povich shit. What do you think? What do you think about the Rizzler? Big Show, you are not the father. He's like, yeah, hits the Rizzler with a WMD punch. No. So moving along here. Another passing in the pro wrestling world, the original ace, Jacka. Now, a bunch of wrestlers came out tweeting their memories and pictures with him. This guy was real, respected and loved on the indies. And lots of people on the shows the mainstream wrestling shows that we watch, man, all had good stuff to say about him. So, again, best wishes to him, to his family, and it's incredibly unfortunate. So Matt Riddle had issued. So there's an update, okay, on his global Grober. Welcome to Shitty Walk. I'll take a shitty order, please. They brought back Shitty Walk on the last South Park. So Global Wrestling Kingdom have announced that Matt Riddle has paid back his deposit after no-showing a charity wrestling event in Barnsley. Barnsley, is that by Liverpool? On Sunday, August 31, GWK issued the following statement. Update. Do I have to read this whole thing? He's now paid it back. We've not made any public statement until now. His flights were booked and approved. We originally planned to coincidence his appearance with some seminars, but his manager asked if we could share this weekend with a promoter, and they didn't want to do that. So he's like, that's bullshit, bro. We simply can't force promotions or gyms to work with him. After months of chasing him and his manager, he sent us one message prior to the show. Again, no issue. Was raised regarding his flight. His driver waited several hours. We implored him to try and get a flight over. He was reminded again. So they're like, dude, just get another flight, man. And they still tried to work with him. And he's just like, bruh, fucking AJ Lee's a fucking slut, bruh. Bruh. I could fucking knock you out, bruh. I could totally win you in a fight, bruh. Your chick's totally a hoe, bruh. Fucking Riddle, man. It's sad. Former WWE star Carlito has just entered the battlefield match at GWF Battlefield in Germany. A guten Tag. I don't even know what that means. I'm Kurt Wagner from the Munich Circus. A little night crawler for you guys. So Matt Riddle exposes the DMs with this Fed. And we have Al Snow, by the way, who's going to come in and update us on all of this shit. And he's the fucking booker. He's the one who booked it. So let's just see. So Matt Riddle dropped some diggity DMs, and he said, hope you wouldn't just, or they say, we hope you wouldn't just no-show a charity event. There were a lot of disappointed kids who wanted to see you. And Riddle goes, yeah, I can, but you really didn't give me time before you lied to the public and slandered me. My lawyer will be contacting you, and I'll be sending whatever money you need. In the next couple days, unless the slander does enough damage to me financially, then nobody has money. Enjoy my video because it's the truth. You have PayPal, Zelle, etc., or you're not going to respond. So he didn't show what they said, though. He just dropped him like, I owned you, bro. And it's like, well, all we see is they were like, we really hoped you wouldn't have ripped off the fans is the killer. He doesn't give a fuck about that. So at least he paid the deposit back. That's all you can do, right? Dakota Kai comments on her potential wrestling return following, because, like, I mean, hey, the egg's on his head, right? I'm not saying, oh, I mean, that's all you can do. It's all good. It's just like, I don't know, man. Release all the DMs and then I'll believe you. But if you just release that one. Dakota Kai comments on her potential wrestling return following her WWE release and free agency. Look at that big, happy smile on her face. That's all I want to see. I miss wrestling. We're going to get back into it. It's just one of those things where it's nice to have a little bit of a break. Exactly. And she's a Twitch partner. I think she's caking off that. Maybe not caking, but she's smart with her money, obviously, and probably making some money off Twitch and all that. So she's probably good, man. For now, right? Like, just to chill, and then they'll sign. I promise you, they'll sign Dakota Kai to AEW. Tony would do that in 2 seconds.
I miss wrestling, you guys. We got to get back into it. It's just one of those things where it's been nice to have a little bit of a break.
And, like, it sucks because when your body's not calloused and shit, you get back into it, you fuck yourself up, right? But at the same time, she probably had bumps and bruises where it's like, no, it's good to have, like, a little while off and then get right back into if she gets right back in the swing of things, it should come back quicker than, like, her taking a 5-year hiatus or just saying fuck it. She has a great setup as well.
I've been doing it for a long time, longer than the last 7 years I was with WWE. You know what I mean? So it is nice to take a step back and do it, but I really do miss it.
To take a step back. I know. Should I start that again from Monday? Oh, man. I know. 30 years ago today, 6 days ago, Monday Nitro was a thing. So here is Jim Ross shouting out Vince Russo, pal. King?
He was a very ambitious guy. He knew what he wanted to do. He had worked enough on the inside to know what he could do and what he couldn't do, and where there was deficiencies that he could contribute to. And Russo is very polarizing, he was ambitious, and so what the hell? More power to him. All he wanted to do was make more money and solidify his position within the company. And to do that within WWE, you got to have some sort of relationship in a positive way with McMahon. Russo was just an ambitious young guy that had a young family, and the more money he could make and earn and save, the better off he was going to be. I don't blame him for that.
Yeah, I mean, the way you describe it there, Jimbo. So a pop culture convention cancels Matt Riddle's scheduled appearance in light of his online comments. So that's not good. Blair Davenport says she was days away from a WWE faction debut before abrupt release. So Ringside News posted this. I had one of the writers come to me talking to us about what they want me and Piper to be wearing, how they want us to behave, like all the gimmicks, all this stuff, like it was happening. They said in 2 weeks, we're going to be doing Chelsea and Mitchin. You're coming in, costing Mitchin and joining Chelsea. That was expected. And I was like, cool. And 6 days later, I don't have a job. So last minute, they swapped out Priestley for Alba and then got rid of Blair and Isla. So something happened where they're all chopping it. up backstage and mulling it over. And then they're like, nah, we'll release these two and keep this one. That's pretty wild. She was going to be in the secret Hervis. Rob Van Dam says, so far, I got Matt Riddle's back. I swear he's just trolling. So here's Ray Morgan in a singles match on Amazon, battled one-man army. So this is from Soft Ground Uganda Wrestling. We always check in with them periodically, and I love that they're still doing like the mud matches as well as their ring matches. So let's check out these guys. Ray Morgan. So is he like Rey Mysterio? Ray Morgan versus Army. So I'm going to assume the guy in the army pants without the mask is Army. My God, what a Hurricane Rana maneuver there, King. Oh, and a one-footed backflip drop kick. Ducks the kick, kicks out at 2 after the roll-up. Ducks under the clothesline, hits those ropes, and those are real gardening ropes, folks. Another head scissors drop kick into the corner. Oh, my goodness, shades of El Dandy with that monkey toss. Wheelbarrow. Oh, hits him with the bulldog. And Ray Morgan, he just moonsaulted into the mud. Oh, that was actually sick. The fucking Meteora catch into the power bomb, just the way they thud on the mud. Thud on the mud. Thud on the mud. Oh. Hell yeah, dude. SG Dub. SG Dub. SG Dub. Going hard as shit. So former WWE star Hazar of the Authors of Pain has declared that he's better and better than ever, seemingly teasing something for tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. Eastern. And that was like a week ago, and I have no clue what it was, so it doesn't really matter. Grapple Clips posted this, and this should be in the retro throwback moment, but we'll just go over it right now. Here's the Briscoes whacking each other. One Briscoe whacking the other Briscoe with a fucking chair and slicing them up just crazy. This is Minecraft, by the way, YouTube.
Cheer on that one. I haven't seen that since I get that what a chair. Oh, nice chair shot.
One.
The trifecta.
More chance.
He's whipping the circle. You did your job. Yeah, I will. Oh, yeah, that's fun. I'm sitting next to this.
So that's Jay like beating the shit out of Mark.
Don't worry, I can't hear you. Can you believe this shit?
And Mark's had a split.
These boys are brothers. Can you?
It's pretty wild, man. Made it look real. Shit, that was real. That is fucked. So Mike Tyson announces this Mayweather-Tyson fight, legend versus legend. It's an exhibition bout. I mean, it's going to be boring as shit. It's a freak show match. So they would do these in Japan, and it might draw a lot of money or eyeballs. I don't even think it will. I'll be honest with you. I think this underwhelms on Netflix. Or maybe not. Maybe just I'm going to throw it on. I'm a degenerate, and I'll throw it on at a morbid. I even gave Power Slap a chance for like fucking 2 seasons. I gave it like 2 events. I gave it the reality show and then the 2 seasons. Or the 2, fights after that, or whatever you want to, slaps after that. And then I was like, enough. This is terrible. These exhibition fights, I know better. This will be like, I'm going to throw it on, but I just really couldn't care any less. No one's going to get starched. Mayweather couldn't starch Tyson. Let's just or maybe he'd like, because he's so old, he could just like Fast and Furious him, just pepper him, but that won't happen. They're not going to do that. If these two met in like a realistic capacity, who would win? Tyson, because he just has so much size. He'd probably just land one and fucking, if he could even touch Mayweather, though. That's the thing, right? If they were really to go, that's the thing. It would just be Mayweather running the whole time. And I don't even think Tyson would dump his gas tank like that. If they were really to fight, this isn't going to be that. It's just an exhibition, pity patter, whatever the fuck around. And I'm probably like underselling Mayweather, right? Like he can probably still go. He could probably actually really fight some of the top guys still. So maybe he'd fuck up Tyson, but just that size difference, and I get it, like, well, Tyson doesn't have a hip, but like, I'm telling you, if any grown man like stood there and let Tyson hit them, he would knock you out. Like anyone his size, I guarantee he would still be able to knock him out if he clipped you clean and really wanted to. So we're talking in a make-believe world. If this was like a real fight, I don't know. I kind of just put it on the weight, but who knows? Maybe Mayweather would just fucking. We're not going to see any of that, though. That's the what if we don't get, and that's what sucks. You know, we can't mark out over, holy fuck, is Mayweather just going to speed bag his body and fucking run away? Can Tyson even catch the guy? And if he does it matter? You know, like it's could Mayweather, like, imagine Mayweather just shocking the world and knocking Mike Tyson out or something. It would be like heartbreaking to see, but it would be like, holy shit, because he's so much smaller. But we don't even get the pleasure of that. It's like the Roy Jones fight. They're just going to jab around, play around, and then the last round they'll probably heat it up a little bit. Mayweather's the master of this too. Logan Paul, like, seriously in his mind thinks he beat fucking Mayweather in an exhibition match. Mayweather was just playing with him the whole time and like rocked him up, and he's like way smaller than him. But that was also quite a while ago. You know, I'm curious to see, like, how does Mayweather move compared to 5 years ago? I don't. We seen him have some freak show. He went to Japan, had like a freak show match there. So he's just making as much money as he can. These two are both getting paid in the shade, and that's cool. That's good for them. And I'll be watching. That's all I can say. Is it on Netflix, though? That's what I don't know. Fight Sports, like, are they expecting me to pay a pay-per-view for this? Because I don't know if I will pay I don't know if I'd pay for that. I got to be perfectly honest. I got to be entirely honest. I don't know if I'm fucking paying to see that. I'll watch that shit after. You know what I mean? RIP, yeah, so a super fan, okay? His name, Chuck Coates. Devastating news. So just again, wrestlers coming out and being like, damn, this guy was like a super fan. This is not a post I ever thought I'd have to make. My wonderful husband, Chuck Coates, took his last breath on earth and his first breath in heaven at 3:44 a.m. while I held his hand. Please pray for our family as we navigate the days ahead. And yeah, he was just one of those super fans. Is that him in the ring? I'm not sure. Damn. Yeah, former pro wrestler. So there he is, dude. I bet his promos were like this. Ooh, I feel the rush. I have a rush. R.I.P. Rest in power. So Matt Riddle, again, he's pulled from the convention following a comment he made about Me Too and Punk and all this shit, right? It's better to lose Matt Riddle than lose a Punk on your at one of your conventions or whatever. And so Big Trouble Ben Bishop. What is this? A Notes app post. Yeah, I know, I swear I'd never do this, but it's pro wrestling. Literally never believe a thing someone says. Anyways, right off the bat, no, this isn't a retirement post. So if you were hoping for that, I apologize. I have the next best thing for you. I'm not booked, Terry, aka I didn't get a job with WWE. So yeah, he didn't get a job with them. He didn't get hired. We were all hoping he would, but he's like, yeah, I'm bummed but not devastated, and et cetera, et cetera. He still could one day. It's not like he's washed or anything. And he has a big matchup coming up against Matt Cardona and Ben Bishop. And then when the fuck is Cross versus Cardona going down? GC Dub, man. I got to check that out. So here is Kurt Angle, who talks about leaving WWE in 2006. And he tells this to The Undertaker. This is a Fanatics pod. I can't even really play these shits. Fucking YouTube gets all mad at me, and so does the Federation. But yeah, here's 6 feet deep or 6 feet under, whatever the fuck they call it now. God, Michelle McCool adds nothing to it. I hate to be this type of hater on her, but like, God damn it, she adds nothing. And it's so, her setups are like this cheesy, phony, like obvious. It's like, yeah, they just let them talk about it and naturally get there. We know that they're going to talk about certain fucking things. You don't need to like phonily set it up from your fucking perspective. Like, tell me about wrestling for the Divas title with fucking Layla McCool or whatever. What was that girl's name? Layla or whatever, right? Tell me about that. I don't need to hear. Start your own pod. Jesus Christ.
The reason why I left WWE wasn't because I was unhappy with the way things were going. I left because I knew if I stayed, I was going to kill myself. I knew I was going to OD on painkillers. So I got out in 2006. And the thing is, I went out and met with Vince McMahon, and this is what's going to kill you, Taker. You're going to love this. So I'm in his office, and I'm talking to him about, my state of mind and everything. And Shane's in there too. And so Vince hands me 5 pages of text messages that I text him and voicemails. And they were brutal. It says, Vince, I'm going to beat the fuck out of you if you don't call me. Okay. I'm going to kick your ass if you don't answer my text. And I'm reading them. I'm going, I don't remember saying this shit because I didn't know. I was high.
Yeah.
So I got up and left. And I went outside. I started crying. And I came back in and I looked at Vince. I said, listen, I'm sorry, but if you don't let me go, I think I'm going to kill myself.
I'm going to kick your ass. What? How dare he? Get in here, pal. Well, guess what, Kurt? You're...
And I didn't mean I was going to commit suicide. I meant that I was
right. I understand.
I'm going to overdose on pills. And Vince said, "You're released." He put his hands up. He said, "You're released." He said, "Come back in 6 months. We'll give you the same contract." I literally flew down to TNA the next day.
That's savagery.
Okay, I already had a contract ready.
So he was like negotiating with them. Contract tampering. He was going to go to TNA. Like he just wanted out and said all that shit to Vince, getting blacked out in a pill liquor rage. And then not realizing it, like just being like, oh, fuck, man, I'm doing whatever. Like he's blacked out and he's like, I'm going to get myself fired.
Okay, so
but he was already planning to get to TNA. That's all I've taken from any of this. Yeah, dude. Like a month away. Oh, it's HOG. It ain't even GCW. I thought it was GCW for sure. Because that's where we watched all that stuff with Nick Gage and then Shotzi and all that. So yeah, HOG, man. Cross versus Cardona. That's a sick match to have on the indies. That's a draw, pal. Maple Leaf Pro, they announced a bunch of matches. So for the MLP Canadian title, you got Josh Alexander versus TJP. Giselle Shaw's taking on Priscilla Kelly for 2 titles. There's 2 belts on the line. The Good Brothers take on the Flatliners, which have a cool name. Those guys have a cool name and a cool look. This happened already, I believe, as well. So, but yeah, Stu Grayson, Ace Austin. So I don't know if they're just putting on good shows everywhere on the indies. Fuck, man, I got to watch more MLP. I said I was, and because it's Canadian, I got to support the shit out of it. But there's just so much wrestling. Dude, this is another amazing clip. We got the fucking hilarious clip from Raven at the Brian Myers and Major Figure Pod, whatever the fuck. Matt Cardona, Smart Mark Sterling, all these guys. They had the ECW tour or podcast or whatever, the convention, whatever they were doing. And I know those are all very different things, but it was this event, I believe. No, did they go to a con or they set up their own, whatever? But they had Raven there who didn't recognize Matt Cardona, and he thought, like, he's like, oh, I was thinking of Zack Ryder or whatever. And then here we have Sandman, a.k.a. Hack, in WCW with a fucking awesome story.
Dugan comes up to me and he goes, he's
And
like,
he calls,
yo, Hack. He
he
goes,
calls Duggan Dugan. Is it Jim Dugan or Duggan? See, I'm a comic book guy, so it's always Dum Dum Dugan and then Jim Duggan. That's always the way I've thought of it, you know? But anyways, he calls him Dugan, so.
Dugan comes up to me and he goes, he's like, yo, Hack. He goes, they're thinking about putting the tag team straps on us.
You in 2017 with Hacksaw Jim Duggan on Raw. It's Regal and Carlito. I said, what the fuck is this?
That had to be a barn burner.
Oh, dude, listen to this. So,
Against Regal and Carlito.
Dugan comes up to me and he goes, he's like, yo, Hack. He goes, they're thinking about putting the tag team straps on us. And I'm like,
That would have
yeah,
fucking
great.
ruled, by the way.
I turned around and I'm like, who the fuck is going to do the work? Who's going to work? What are we both going to stand on the apron? Who's doing the hot tag? It would be the worst hot tag in the history of freaking the business.
Yeah, do you get it? Hack saw Jim Duggan. Oh, that's Vince's booking. Jesus Christ.
It's two Roberts, no Ricky.
Two Roberts. That's the first time I've ever heard that. That's a good one, though.
Two Roberts, no Ricky. Good shit. So Kurt Angle, he critiques modern wrestling, dude.
It's a lot of like high flying and acrobatic, and these guys are showing their athleticism.
I bet Dave's like, they were paid to say this, Brian.
They're not showing like their working ability.
Dude, Celebrity Weakest Link premiering some whatever day they said on Fox. I'm gonna watch that.
You know,
good point.
Psychology, just
right.
I mean, the guys do sell, but I don't. You know, a lot of times I see somebody that just took a devastating move and comes up and doesn't sell it. It's
right.
Like, whoa, that's not how it's supposed to be. You know.
Yeah.
And I think that we're losing sight of where wrestling should be. You know, I know wrestling goes in stages. I know that, you know, we start with basic and, you know, tell the story the proper way, good guy versus bad guy and all that stuff. But after a while, you know, it just got, I'll give you an example. When I came into the business, there were no tie-ups. Everybody was throwing punches at the beginning.
Right out of the get-go.
That was like, holy shit. Like this,
that was the trending thing.
Punches. This is crazy. But eventually the business pulled back and we started doing tie-ups. So it's all going to come back around again, you know, was what I'm saying.
Yeah, that's what I've been saying for a while too. Like, well,
It's not even
like we're fucking splitting the atom here with this dissection of pro wrestling and the way history repeats itself, etc. But exactly, I've pointed this out a million times as well. Everything comes full circle, and we're seeing with the ultra like storytelling, paced out, more sports based type wrestling that we're seeing from some of these guys. It's drawing more like what Roman was doing. We call it top guy speed here at PWT. That top guy speed, we see more and more of that in WWE, and it's only benefiting the wrestlers, their longevity, the fans. When people go out there and do crazy shit, once in a while we get a AAA show and it's got WWE production and they go out there and do the wacky crazy. It's like a carnival. Ooh, the circus is in town, right? As I'm sure some people would say, but it's like once in a while. They don't do it all the time. So then it works, you know? And we're like, oh, a nice treat of like wackiness and shit. So again, like this AEW show kicks off and they're chanting AEW. So you're trying to recreate the EC Dub thing. Just do your own thing, man. Odyssey Jones' lawsuit against his ex-girlfriend. So subpoena revealed. WWE subpoena is revealed. So he's suing people. He's still wrestling, but he feels like he was done wrongly, you know? Bubba the Love Sponge posted this exclusive footage. Brooke Hogan and Steve Alexi arrive at Video Killed the Radio Star premiere. So he got sued over this, I believe. Here's Brooke Hogan.
Guys, we're going to go in.
Yeah, right here. Yeah.
would be perfect. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Hi, how are you, sir? Thank you so much.
Oh my gosh. It's so nice that people have like nice memories of Dad, and you know.
Yeah, I'm here. The Bubba Army, wearing a Bubba Army shirt. I mean, this is his fucking. Isn't this? What is this? Video Killed the Radio Star. This is Bubba's DVD that he was putting out. That he put out rather. Correct? And this is the one Nick Hogan's suing him over. I got to get my hands on this. Someone get me a link or something like that. And someone find me this or explain to me where I can watch it in Canada. And I will EFAP the whole fucking thing on Patreon. Is it about him or is it about Hulk? That's what I don't know. I don't know why Brooke loves Bubba so much, but I don't know. Maybe Hulkster did say, you know something, Brooke, dude. You know something, brother? Bubba was a cool dude. He said his prayers, dude. He took his vitamins, Jack. So Logan Paul speaks on the Raja Jackson incident on the Impulsive podcast, and Big Mike is there, and he's just like, Fox. Yeah, man, Fox. So here's what he had to say about Raja Jackson. Here's you want to know a fight that should go on the undercard of Floyd Mayweather, Mike Tyson, if you guys want to do a freak show? Raja Jackson, Logan Paul. Make your MMA debut, Logan Paul, against this motherfucker.
1,000% believe he belongs in jail. Assault is an understatement. He tried to kill a man.
Yep.
He tried to kill a man, and it was live streamed on his Kick channel. Because you are an angry young man who has a lot of pent up aggression, and you think people are playing with you, or like whatever your interpretation of life is that's happening, or however you were treated in your life, doesn't mean you get to get in a ring and beat up a performer. Or he's
anybody on the street,
especially Jeff. Definitely not anybody, but it's a situation where, okay, I'm a professional wrestler. I saw this. I know what it's supposed to look like, dude. You're in there trusting each other to put on a performance and make something look good and entertaining. To completely go off script and try to fucking kill someone.
No, you're mentally insane.
Is insane. It's criminal. It's criminal behavior. I couldn't believe what I was watching when I saw the video.
Insane.
21, 22 punches.
There were some like extremely strange people or completely out of touch people who tried to go back to the can incident that happened beforehand.
Let's talk about it.
So as part of the
Big Mike Fox, he claims to be a heroin dealer. This guy, I used to sell pills and all this shit. You shut the fuck up, Big Mike. Big Goofy. That's what I call you. Anyways, Big L. Actually, no. Big L, rest in peace. Gangsta. One of the best yet. Full clip. So, Brooke Hogan explains why she stood by Bubba. Answering the question I had.
This sex tape was not something that Bubba maliciously did to my dad. I know that because my father told me that himself. Unfortunately, just due to public perception and all of the things that get in the way, legal things, how you look to the public, got in the way of their friendship, when really deep down at the base level, if they would have just had a little conversation and said, hey, I know it wasn't you, or, I think that they could have carried on their friendship, because it really wasn't them against each other. It was really somebody with bad intentions that it was against both of them. So this has been a really nice event to come to, because I've gotten a lot of people coming up to me that love my dad, that love Bubba, that remember the good old days. And it's just really nice. It feels like, in a way, it's my father's with me in spirit. My dad always said if he was Bubba's best man actually at his wedding, and he said, I would only trust my kids with Bubba. And even though there's all this water under the bridge, at the end of the day, he's my Uncle Bubba, and I know his heart. And I just choose to stand by the truth, and I know the truth. So I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think people change, people go through hard things in their life, and at the end of the day, I love my dad, I love my brother, I love my mother, and I love my Uncle Bubba.
Damn, her Uncle Bubba. Well, I mean, that's her perspective, B. So, former WWE star Hazar of the Authors of Pain says there were discussions at one point about AOP splitting up and him being pushed as a single star, but he wasn't interested. And he says a lot of people backstage were pushing to do that, but I made my name in a tag team. I don't go behind someone's back. The talks were there, but I was never really interested. What the fuck? Well, then you need to be like, I'm going to become one of the greatest tag team champions of all time. And I want to be like the best world tag champion of all time. Pardon me. That's how you go about being like, I want to be the best fucking tag team guy, or I just only want to stay in a tag team for my entire life, or whatever the fuck. You have to then become, you weren't like a good tag wrestler though. So it's just wild. That's like loyalty that probably fucked up your career in the long run. Down now. So Power Slap. This guy Sin Bodie posts, are you interested in competing in Power Slap? Pays $5K minimum per show, $10K if you win, plus possible bonuses. Since WWE and UFC are now under the same TKO umbrella, the opportunities are wide open. If you have any questions, please feel free to call, message, or call me anytime. Power Slap Talent Relations. And again, man, they have Stunt Marshall, Hollywood Haley J. Who do they have here competing in this shit? Masada. They have Zeta Zhang, Jordan Oasis, who was just WWE ID'd, man. He's in Power Slap. Look at this, Masada. He's like a deathmatch legend. He's a guy who fucking lit his face on fire that one time. And they got him doing this shit for what, 5-10K? Jordan Oasis needs 10 fucking K to possibly get KO'd like that off of a coin toss. Fucking flip a coin and get KO'd. Is that worth it, dude? We need another Fed. We need another Fed who can like hire Cardona and Cross and some of these guys and like build a division around them. Like another one, you know? That partners up with a couple of these indies. Or we just need GCW to like blow the fuck up. Right? Or like MLW, one of these Feds. MLW does good shit. They're fucking really underrated. Some of it, though, like the CMLL gets such a great deal with them, where it's a lot of it is their guys, and some of it can get a little sloppy with some of those old lucha guys. You know what I mean? So that'll be my only criticism of it. But here's what Stevie Richards had to say about talking to Vince about what he needed to do to really make it in WWE. So we've talked about thus far in this segment about people who, you know, have tried to make it and they have to power slap, or they're just angry at the world like Matt Riddle. And we wonder, what does it really take? How do you make it in WWE? Well, Stevie Richards has the answer. Shout out to Stevie Richards Show and James Romero and Stevie.
I walked in. Actually, I even knocked and leaned in. Hey, boss, can I get 5 minutes? And he was so over the moon. Yeah, of course. I really enjoyed that match. That was awesome. He goes, Stevie, you always just, every time we give you anything, you always knock it out of the park. So he said to me, you know, like, I'm like, okay, I'm definitely like, I can ask something. And I kind of like, outside of saying permission to speak freely, I thought I had permission to speak freely.
He's like, you know how you make it, pal? Why don't you have a seat on my plane right over there? Why don't you go sit right next to the bathroom on my private jet? No, I'm so sorry.
And I asked him, I go, based off
Why
of
don't
what
you go get one of those kittens off my private plane? Or else you're...
you just said, and what you said in there, Vince, I'm booked in a match with Ken Kennedy that's going to go 3 minutes total. And I go, I know I can contribute more. I know I can do more. I know you can make money with me. And I'm not coming in here saying I refuse to do this or anything like that. I made a point. What I'm doing is asking you for advice. Coach me up. Tell me what I need to do to really make it and make you money and really fulfill so you can make the money back on my guarantee and tenfold. What do I need to do? And he goes, you need to be a bigger asshole.
You need to be an asshole like me, pal. Show me. Go ahead. Show me how much of an asshole you can be. Come on, spit in my face. You know what? Spit in my mouth. Or are you too much of a coward, pal?
You need to cut throats. You need to stab backs. You need to show me ruthless aggression, which
you need to show me ruthless aggression. Sorry, I'm gonna fuck my throat up for the
this
whole
was
show.
a real thing.
Ruthless aggression.
I said, well, I mean, okay, but I'm that's not really in me. That was probably where I got buried. I show up, I work hard, I don't get in trouble. I try to respect everybody, and I just want to work and make you money. All I want to do is get booked, not asking to be world champion, but I know I can do more than a 3-minute match where I'm getting squashed.
Who needs money when you have power?
I can work Ken. We can have an angle and a storyline. I could be his first opponent and put him over. But it's got to be something more than this that I can contribute. And he goes, you know what? I'll look into it. I go, but Vince, you own the company. Who do you have to ask? Probably buried once again. He goes, you know what, Stevie, that's a good point. And he goes, I'm going to think about it. And I go, I appreciate you coming in. And he goes, thank you for your time. Shook my hand, patted me on the back. And he goes, go out there and do what you do every night and just friggin', score a touchdown or whatever he said.
The door closes. Vince is like, who the hell was that? I thought you said Stevie Nicks was thought you said Stevie Nicks was coming to my room, pal.
And I said, thanks. I closed the door and I said, I am so buried right now. I'm fired. I just felt it. Next thing I know, they came up to me 15 minutes later and they said, hey, you're not working tonight. And I said, is that based on a meeting I just had with Vince? Oh, no. They just think that like you shouldn't be in a squash match, especially after that talent meeting where Vince showed your match. So I was like, oh, so it might have worked out. Then 4 months later, I said, it didn't work out.
Why did you come to me? Who was that guy? Vince, you showed him a match. You showed everyone his match last week. Well, I was showing it for The Rock. I was showing it for the guy who beat him in
I walked in
2 minutes.
Actually,
no, I don't know, man. The truth is somewhere in the middle on that, WWE Hall of Famer Ted DiBiase suffers a black eye, bruised ribs after fall at an airport. So for the love of God, why are you flying around, man? And Hazar reveals he and Akam nearly quit WWE when Paul Ellering was removed as Authors of Pain's manager in 2018. He says, to be honest, when we had to leave Paul Ellering, that was the day that we were deciding to stop with WWE. We were just called up. The first day at the main roster, they were telling us you have to leave Paul. And me and my tag partner, Sonny, he said, yo, let's just give our resignation letter and just leave. Paul told us, try it out. I've helped you guys to get there. So much hard work. We can always get the back together later. Get the back together later. What the fuck, guys? Quit using AI to write your shit. No. It was the Vince McMahon thing. He didn't like people older than him or people his age on the show. He wanted to be the one elderly person who would be in the spotlight at the time. Yeah, people have said that Vince doesn't like people, like feeble people, and maybe he looked at it, but I don't know about that because look at the people around him for years and years, Guys, we've been on the air for an hour. We're not even done miscellaneous news. I told you guys a jam. I've been coming with hitter after fucking hitter after fucking hitter after fucking hitter at PWT. Okay, so I don't know what's going on here, guys. Make sure you hit like. Make sure you hit subscribe. We're gonna EFAP this video because Al Snow's he's gonna explain like this what actually went down. I'm going to check in with chat here. Andre Adams for 10. Thank you so much for your support. Guys, you can super chat in. You can become a member for only 99 cents. YouTube.com/@ProWrestleClips is the main channel. We're like 6 subs away from 7,100, which is cool as fuck. So go over there, sub if you haven't. If you're on X, consider coming over to YouTube. The replay will be at youtube.com/@ProWrestleTimes. Okay. And yes, I appreciate you all. Thanks for hanging out. Andre Adams for 10 says 10 for the Gangstar reference, dude. Gangstar, one of the best yet. Thank you so much. I acknowledge me. I think I got some solid music references, and a wide variety, I like music just in general, all genres, I can't say like I hate this one genre or I don't, I have preferences, but Big L, you can't even give people big L's because Big L was one of the fucking best. And unfortunately ahead of his time and gone way too early, Andre Adams for 2 says Al Snow talk like he smokes 3 fireplaces a day. Yeah, he's lighting his stogies in the chimney, dude. And it's fucking propane fuel. No, I don't mean to roast him, but what happened? Like what how did his voice get like that? And thank you, Andre. For the super chats. I really appreciate that. DITC, normally I'd butt memberships, but I pre-ordered Borderlands 4. Is that coming out, dude? I understand the normal booth setup, but it's not a strict dogma. What's chat saying? What was the Gangstar reference? I said a full clip earlier. I started singing full clip. The $6 million man. I'm missing out on chat at the dentist. Good, man. Get those teeth clean. I had a dream once where Vince told me he'd give me a job if his friend Henry approved of me, and it turned out Henry was a miniature horse. Vince put me into a tag team with Fandango. That means you're gay. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, I don't know, dude. That's weird. Get one of those dream encyclopedias. I wonder if Vince is in there. Okay, guys. Sounds like a pretty sus dream, bro. No, just kidding, man. That's all good. I've had way gayer dreams than that, I assure you. AI had Al had throat surgery. Okay, so like I feel bad roasting you, Al. Okay, I really do. Hey, I did the impression. Jack Vaughn put it over. You guys are buds, so it's all in good taste and good fun. Big L, Big Labubu energy. Yeah, that's Elboo's other nickname, by the way, is Labubu. Okay, because he's a cute little doll. So you all remember that. Elboo started here, Labubu, when everyone starts saying that too. Started here. Yeah, make sure you guys hit like, hit subscribe. I appreciate you all. Let's get into this next bit of miscellaneous news. We're not done yet. Okay. Al Snow. We're seeing moonsaults and all this craziness going on here in AEW. Okay, this match is still going on. So, anyways, let's get into this. This is Vince Russo, bro. Let me tell you something about this Matt Riddle, bro. I'm the king of bros. This bro thought he's the king of the audacity. When I invented Stone Cold Steve Austin, I said, bro, I'm the king of bro. Think about it. Beer drinker, middle fingers. Bro, I am the king of bros in wrestling. And bro, let me tell this Matt Riddle needs to bow down to the king of bros, bro.
You also booked me the worst flight in history, bro.
So let's see. Here's Al
claiming
Snow.
that the former was too cheap.
Shout out to Brand, Vince Russo, Jeff Lane, and Al Snow.
Attempts to placate Riddle by organizing wrestling seminars to earn him some extra money failed to materialize, and Riddle, who never canceled his booking, didn't fly to the UK days before. The report goes on to say that in an email correspondence between Riddle and Global Wrestling Kingdom, that Riddle told the promotion he had taken another booking, but could still potentially make the show on Sunday. At that point, however, Riddle never responded to further emails, and he proceeded to attend Eric Bischoff's Real American Freestyle first event in Cleveland on Saturday, with reports emerging he's expressed interest in joining them. And then on Sunday was in Boca Raton, Florida, in a surprise appearance. So, according to this report, also Global Wrestling did issue refunds to the fans for the meet and greets that were supposed to be taking place with Riddle.
We know all this. Let's get to Al Snow.
When he was and when what accurate he was. So I'm just telling you what I was told, and I can tell you based on the message. So a lot of what you said was, I guess, somewhat accurate. He was contacted and this was all arranged quite a while ago, as was I. I don't know exactly when he was and when he agreed. He was sent a deposit, from what I understand. Again, I don't know because it wasn't sent to me. I know that on Friday, the promoter sent someone down to pick Riddle up at Heathrow, and then that was when he discovered, the driver discovered that Riddle had not boarded the plane, and in fact hadn't even really, once the promoter checked, hadn't even entered his passport information for the flight. The promoter contacted him. Riddle pointed out that he wasn't
Holy
coming,
shit, Dad! They're coming right for us.
because
They're coming right for us. I don't mean to roast them. God damn, I feel terrible.
he said that once he checked the flight, that he saw that he had a middle seat. There wasn't a meal offered on the flight, which all international flights offer a meal. Claimed that it was the cheapest flight on the cheapest seat, and that he wasn't coming. He had an opportunity to go to Cleveland on Friday night for his rate, and then also was going to the Eric Bischoff freestyle show that Fox was interested in, which meant that they might be willing to sign him and then pay him, which was a no-brainer. And then did not say that he could make the Sunday event if still desired, let him know, and then apologized for it happening or whatever, even though he had never gotten on the plane. I recommended, I said, well, business-wise, you should probably ask for your deposit back. I said, because you send a deposit to hold a date by the talent, and then if the talent don't make the show, usually, in my case, I would send the deposit back because I didn't make the show. Something came up. That would be, I didn't follow my part at the end. That was it. And then I advised them that we offer a refund before the end of the first match. And we reached out and I contacted Grado, who was willing to be a replacement. So I came out at the start of the show, said that due to unforeseen circumstances that Matt Riddle would not be attending the show that day. And then if anybody wanted a refund, they could get one.
Damn, and then if people wanted refunds, so they had to refund shit because of Riddle?
Prior to the end of the first match, I said, but I think you'll be happy with the replacement that we got. Brought Grado out, got a huge response. Nobody requested a refund.
Good.
I think one person did request a refund for the meet and greet, but nobody requested a refund beyond that. And Grado came out and
dude, I would 100%, if I paid for a meet and greet and it was just with Riddle and not with if it was just with Riddle, like if it was like a one-on-one with Riddle, I would 100% ask for a refund. If it was a meet and greet with all the boys, I would probably be chill. Meeting Grado's cool. It would suck, but
we did a little angle with he and Simon Miller, and they went on and had a great main event. And the show was.
So these are two videos that Riddle put out on X.
I'm gonna make this quick. GWK
The reason I didn't go is because you booked me a flight for Thursday for a show that was happening Sunday, and you said you were booking me meet and greets, other matches, and appearances. You did none of that. I had nothing scheduled, and I was going to sit in a hotel room for 2 days in London. I told you multiple times I can't do that or wouldn't do that, and I got work for Friday and Saturday and Thursday. I worked Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and I told you I'd fly to London Saturday evening.
Okay, we heard all this shit. What's Al Snow's response to this horse shit? No, it's not, probably not even all entirely horse shit. I just wonder what Al has to say, because we covered those on the last show already.
Let's hear the second explanation here.
Earlier than she's where to go to benefit that is, and if you're away from home, you want to be always making money. So that I understand. As far as anything else, I really can't. The charity, as far as I knew, it was a charity event. The proceeds were to go to benefit that, as far as I knew, and I knew that before I left and went over there. And I think that was a mistake by they flew me in early, as well. Earlier than should have needed to be. And
Did you have a middle seat?
No, I didn't have a middle seat. I actually had a pretty nice seat, both ways, to and from. So I was pretty as comfortable as you can be on a plane.
Can you imagine if they booked?
Bro, could you imagine, bro? He calls himself the king of bro. Bro, I'm the king of bros, bro.
Al in the middle seat and the
I go through TSA.
Very detail. It's insane. Believe these creeps? Whatever, dog. At the end of the day, I'm going to keep getting booked. I'm probably going to start fighting again. I'm probably going to do a lot of other shit. Crushing on OnlyFans because I've got a big, and I'm nice as dude. Everybody, if you don't like me,
Everybody, oh man, I roasted the shit out of that clip before. Dude, he's like a Jason Mewes character.
Yourselves, all right? I don't give a because at the end of the day, the cream rises to the top. And I'm really, really tired of trying to be nice to everybody because I hate to break it to you. Most of you guys are morons. Peace.
Very nice. Al, how do you feel about that, Al?
Look, I'm sure that like they always say, there's there's his side, and then there's the truth. Look, I only know what little bit I know from the outside of things, not much more than that. I'm sure there was probably some miscommunication and some misorganization on.
Yeah, I mean, you don't need to give him all that extra. And that, ladies and gentlemen, was the intro miscellaneous news tonight, ladies and gentlemen.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm afraid I've got some bad news.
So, Thomas Moore for 2 says, bro, I hate everything. Bro, let me tell you something, bro. I hate everything, bro. Yeah, I'm surprised we didn't get a bro down. Bro, I'm the king of bros. Bro, I'm the king of bros, and I got a big dick, and I could knock you out. Bro, I don't give a shit about that, bro. Me and God got this, bro. That shit's funny. Thank you for the super chat. 626 for 2 says X-Pac, you don't need that thing anymore, Al. Well, I feel bad roasting Al, dude. I feel bad roasting his voice because I didn't know he had like a throat surgery or whatever, dude. Yeah, that was miscellaneous news. Thank you guys. Round of applause for everyone super chatting and everyone hanging out tonight in chat and over on X. Bro, I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. So we have TNA news. Everybody tweak your banjos, fine tune them, because it is time for TNA news. Jamona. So here is what Switchblade had to say to John Alba. Okay, so this Kevin Darby guy says, because I want a competitor to the WWE, I want a challenger, but in order to achieve that, you must adhere to the principles of what actually makes a TV wrestling show mainstream. Talking about AEW and how shitty it is. John Alba says this. TNA currently does about 55,000 weekly views and was more in danger of going out of business than AEW is likely ever going to be. WCW no longer exists. Why watch something that is a carbon structure copy of the product you want a competitor to? And Switchblade's like, where are you getting 55,000 views from TNA? TNA was getting 100,000 views 1 year ago in the last publicly available Nielsen ratings. And if you believe Carlos Silva, they are up this year and are probably in the 140 to 170K range right now. You hear that? Switchblade knows, dude. No response. You're not going to get a response from Alba from that. Okay, now he will quote tweet and respond to motherfuckers, but not Switchblade. Okay, and Alba saying they do about 55,000, but Switchblade just pulled his card. Now, I hit up Switchblade, and I'm like, yo, where? Well, first off, he has a receipt. Source for the 100K viewers, US TV DB. Source for most, the US TV database. Source for most recent number is an estimate, as Carlos Silva said they are doing 100K homes now. Up from 50K to 75K they were doing last year. I used the average viewers per home from TNA late 2024 numbers to estimate 140 to 170. So whatever, blah, 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 blah. Everybody wants to argue fucking numbers, but apparently you could argue TNA's doing Collision numbers on Thursday. Excuse me. So why wouldn't they stay there? I think that's what they want to do. I know that's what they want to do. When Alba does this report, they considered going to Wednesday. Yeah, I'm sure they considered going and doing shows from the fucking moon or whatever too. Like, right? I'm sure they consider a lot of things, bro. They probably considered what to have for lunch that day, right? There's a lot of things they consider or they're open to. Oh, they're open to going head to head on Wednesday. They're open to going on fucking Monday or Sunday or Tuesday or Thursday too. You know, they'll go on any fucking day. So he just showed his math there. But I hit Switchblade up and I was like, bro, you said some shit a while ago about how TNA, and we covered this on the show, but I wanted a refresher for everyone. Okay. And this is back in August. And Switchblade, it just dawned on me. I was like, oh, yeah, he posted this thing, how TNA does like however much X the viewership of whatever station they've gone on. He crunched some numbers like, so last known TNA numbers had TNA doing 90K on Access. Access TV averages 26K viewers. CW averages 445K. He points out and comes with the math on how TNA, like, let's say when they were on Pop Network and Pop averaged, I'm just making up numbers, right? We'll use Meltzer numbers. So, like, let's say they averaged 10K viewers. TNA's show would do 30K viewers. When they were on Spike, their average was this, and TNA did this. When they were on Destination America, we have the numbers right here. Okay, so Spike TV in 2014, their average show was doing 415K thousand. TNA in 2014's average rating was 1.08 million. Okay, check out this one, Destination America the next year. Think about how crazy this is, how crazy these 3 years were, and how big this fall off was. This is one of the most colossal fall offs in the history of pro wrestling, by the way, that TNA had. Destination America the next year, they had 228K people viewing on average their shows. TNA went on the station and drew 330K on average. Pop TV, their average show in 2016 did 179K. TNA did 310K. That's crazy to me. They were doing 310K on Pop. That's crazy to me. Access TV in 2024, their average show. So this is more recent. They've kept this trend going. Okay. Access TV in 2024, their average show does 26K views or viewers or whatever. TNA does 90K. Now, CW averages 445K viewers per show. If that historical trend for TNA were to continue, and Carlos Silva's saying like they're up to the 150,000 viewers range, if we're to believe him, right? If TNA got on a CW, that could be, if that trend continues, that could be catastrophic for AEW. That could be like the end for them, especially on a Thursday. And if Collision goes to Thursday, or if it stays on Saturday, God bless them. But this guy's like, yeah, you mean when TNA was popular? But like, look at 2024. It's not about even popularity, right? He's just showing like, look at this trend, this historical trend between the viewership they do. So if they go onto a station that is 445K and they start doing, let's even say like 550K viewers, that's crazy for TNA. And that's a possibility. What does A&E do? I know that LFG show does like 100K viewers. Okay. So does TNA go on there and can they do 200 and some K viewers? Because that's beating Collision. That's Collision numbers right there. So quite interesting. And I wanted to bring this to the show because it's just such an interesting tidbit of information there. And yeah, shout out Switchblade. So Snitsky just took Myron Reed and Killer Kelly's baby, and he looks like he's about to punt it. So that's terrible. Mr. Anderson revealed his return to TNA at the September 5 Impact tapings was a one-off. And he says, I don't know. I can't say anything other than the fact that, like, as far as I'm concerned, as far as anybody is concerned at this point, it was a one-off. What is this AEW shit? Degrassi High? Like, Jesus Christ. It was an opportunity. TNA was here in town. A bunch of people, a bunch of friends of mine, Nick Nemeth, Matt Hardy, Frankie Kazarian, Tommy Dreamer, all sort of put in a word like, we're in Ken's town. Maybe we should do something with him. So it was a one-off. And he's trying to get back into WWE. There is a stipulation added to the last time ever Team 3D versus the Hardy Boys. You know what WWE should do is just let Team 3D use their fucking theme from WWE, or maybe they use their TNA one. Despite the fact we've won 24 world titles, Hardy's in a tables match. So it's a tables match, hopefully elimination style. And thank God it's not a ladder match, because you know Devon ain't going up there. And nor do we need him or want him to, you know. So your CEO is coming out, guys. Yeah, I don't know. I'm pumped for BFG. Hopefully AJ Styles gets a match on there. So Trey Miguel, Zachary Wentz, Myron Reed, and Jake Something are duking it out. And the winner gets a shot at the X Division Championship. I put a tweet out. I was like, I predict one of the Rascals is going to win this. So Jake Something, I don't think wins this thing. And you have three of the Rascals in there, like making up the X Division pretty much. And I'm totally down with that. Ash by Elegance revealed that after she won the TNA Knockouts World title, Bayley sent her a message. And she said, Bayley sent me such a cool message. She's like, I want to let you know I'm so proud of you and you're so effing cool. I've always wanted to hold a TNA title. Bayley, have a match against Dana. Put her over at Bound for Glory, bud. That's awesome, though. And shout out Bayley, man. And shout out Ash by Elegance. She really deserves it. And that, ladies and gentlemen, was TNA News. Hell yeah. Doing amazing. What an amazing show this has been. Yeah, that was some Degrassi High shit going on with Moxley there, hey? Like, what is it? The big bad bully puts his feet on the table in the cafeteria, brah. Meet me at 3 p.m. outside the caf, dude. Gonna have a throwdown, bro. It's just so corny, man. I don't know who comes up with this shit. Okay, let's check in with chat. Let's see what chat is saying here. Flute time. It is definitely not flute time. Yeah, Emmy's in there working Rio. See, here's the thing. The stuff that Riho returned in, like her wearing the jeans, what do you call it? It was like a shorts but skirt. And that what she returned in and fought last week, fought off whoever, that's what she should wear in the ring. Looks way cooler, you know? Gives her like a more of like a Street Fighter vibe or something. Okay, ladies and gentlemen. So Alex Windsor's in there. I don't know. We'll see how over she gets, man. It feels like they're really just shoving her down our throats, Roman Reigns style. You know? And we know it's because it's Bruv's girlfriend or wife or whatever. Which, I mean, it's fine. We're seeing in WWE people's wives come back and get big pops and all this shit. They announced in WWE 2K that Goldberg and Nikki Bella are going to be like in the island. So they're like hidden unlockable type shits in the next like expansion that comes out or something. And yeah, they'll be added to the game. So kudos to them for adding them in there, even after Goldberg like buried the company pretty much. But yeah, it doesn't matter what they do with Alex Windsor because they're just going to fucking build her up to have her lose to Monet in the end. So doesn't really matter. And then Rio's back too. So it'll be a triple threat. So, ladies and gentlemen, it is time for WWE. So The Rock opens up about his physical transformation into Mark Kerr for the Smashing Machine. I can't wait to see this shit.
Physically realizing that I had to transform my body. And when I spoke to Benny very early, we had both identified that Mark Kerr's body, when you go back and Google him and you see him, he really had this,
Google it.
not hyperbole, he had this really rare air, unicorn, athletic build of a man who was so dominant as a wrestler, with all these fast twitch muscle fibers, that, and on top of that being heavyweight, and on top of that being, at that time, was the greatest fighter on the planet. So his build was...
And he was fucking taking human growth hormone and taking crazy pills and steroids and shit, which is all good, I guess, back in the day. It's what they did, but like, dude was just a monster.
It's something that you just don't see. It's like this combination of a sprinter and a wrestler and just this incredible athlete. So Benny early said, you know, I don't know if you've ever been told this before, but I think you're going to gain weight. I think you need, it's like, how do I say this? Pop here. It was instantly, I totally get what you mean. And give me this amount of time. I said, you need to give me some months, which we had and prepared for. So that was physically. And then, of course, Cosmic Hero, just an incredible prosthetics makeup artist who created the prosthetics, which I sat in the chair for about 3 or 4 hours every day. As we talked about backstage, it's 3 or 4 hours every day with a master who created the prosthetics, 3 or 4 hours every day to be subtle. Yeah. And the makeup and prosthetics were really subtle. To go there, and I understood what going there meant in order, you guys see the film, there was fighting in the ring, which I worked very hard, training camp, MMA training camp, put on 30 pounds of of muscle, but it's also a different kind of muscle. When you have to play Mark Kerr, the kind of muscle I had to.
He got it down. Like, I can't wait to see this movie. Just even looking at the pic, and shout out MMA Fighting, by the way. But just the physique, like he nailed it. The prosthetics did a good job as well. And it looks kind of silly, but like look at Mark Kerr's head. He looks kind of silly. Okay, go back and watch his fights. He was fucking taking a bunch of shit. Okay, and he had fucking nasty cauliflower ear and shit.
Put on was a different quality of muscle. And that might sound weird, but it's like fast twitch because you have to be able to move. That's the sprinter's muscle. Sprinter's muscle. Yes, you have to be able to move in the ring and move with these guys. And so that was the physical part, but I think the internal part was the biggest challenge because.
Yeah. So, and then he got skinny for his roles in the Scorsese film. He's doing that dragon movie or whatever that is, that chicken movie or whatever. He has another one that isn't out or announced, whatever, that he's going to try and get an award with. He's on an award run. And I don't think we'll ever see him wrestle again in WWE. And I don't think we'll ever, and I called this a while back, and I don't think we'll see him ever get as big. Maybe he'll bulk up a little bit if he's got to go in the DCU or MCU or something. But he could also voice a character in either of those realms, like the way Vin Diesel did. The Rock could totally do that. They could just CGI him, But just like Batista, I'm not saying he's going to be like a skinny mini, but I don't think we'll see him bulk up to the size he was before all of this either. I think we'll see like a happy medium with The Rock and his physique there. So speaking of physique, man, Bad Bunny was in the middle of a concert and he blows his fucking knee out mid-performance in Puerto Rico. And someone made the joke, because how old is Bad Bunny now? Bad Bunny age. He's 31, yeah. So freshly in his early 30s. And someone put a tweet out saying, like, dude, in your 30s, like, you realize, like, shit just starts going, you can't just do athletic shit out of nowhere the way you used to. It's just funny. It's because I'm 33 and I feel the same way. It's like, fuck, oh, my shoulder hurts and shit, But either way, Bad Bunny hurt his knee. You can see it blow right out. And it's unfortunate because we're all hoping he does some WWE shit sooner or later. Nope. He won't even be dancing on stage anymore. Oh, his knee just went. Oh, I don't even. And that shit he's done like 700 times, hopping around like that, his little bunny hop. So it's unfortunate, man. I really hope he's okay. Does he do the rest of his tour in a fucking wheelchair? Or what, is he touring, or is that just a show? I don't know. SmackDown. Friday Night SmackDown, October 3rd. They have 3,800 tickets distributed. They will be this is in Cincinnati, Ohio, and the current setup is 6,500. Of course, it'll be a sellout. I believe part of it might be tarped off a little bit, or no, I don't know what building they're in. Someone can look up the Heritage Bank Center. So how many does that seat? And yeah, they might roll the tarps out for SmackDown. Sickos are taking this as some sort of victory, but it's like, and it is lame if they start doing that, but it will sell out. And not only that, it's sell out as far as like wrestling sellout is confirmed. And not only that, you guys can't take victory laps and shit. Like, this is what everyone's talking about. Just shut the fuck up. This isn't a big deal. You guys make this a big deal, and then you get uber clowned, and then the bad karma comes around, and then fucking AEW, some goofy shit happens where workers are protesting them or whatever the fuck. They make fun of workers' unions, and then unions are protesting them and shit. What did I tell you guys? Emmy Sacker is there, so Rio can pin her or something. That's how predictable and shitty this show is. All right, so SmackDown has had some fucking we had one of the craziest SmackDowns ever the other week. Well, I don't know. The matches weren't so good, I'll be honest, but neither was this one. So Sickos, don't take victory laps about shit like this. Just be like, good for the Fed. This is AEW's pay-per-view that we're about to show. Okay? According to RVD, there was interest from WWE in booking a match versus John Cena during Cena's retirement tour. RVD states that it was looking likely to happen until he suffered an injury. TMZ. And that's unfortunate. So it would have just been probably like a squash match on Raw type shit, like a 6-minute, whatever the fuck. Triple H thinks WrestlePalooza will probably become a thing beyond the first installment on September 20. And he was on Pat McAfee's show. We have a couple quotes from him and a couple updates. He was dropping some fucking heaters, spoiling some stuff, and letting us know what's going on in the world of WWE. Rey Mysterio reacts to the recent breakout and popularity of Mr. Iguana. And he says, if you would have seen that card when the first Worlds Collide came to fruition, would you have said Mr. Iguana was the one that was going to stand out? Probably not, but he did. And that's because I know the guy personally. He's very passionate. He knows what he wants to get across to the fans. He knows how to connect. He's humble. His feet are flat on the ground, and he wants to learn. He wants opportunities. So it's very exciting to see his growth. Yeah, shout out Mr. Iguana, getting over with everyone. WrestlePalooza have distributed 10,100 tickets. They're set up for 12,000. And yeah, that'll be a sellout as well. They have 15,000 seats on the map. I don't know if it'll reach that. Probably. I mean, it's a big fucking show that's going down. And we have more news about big shows in WWE. And I'm not talking about Paul White. Am I right, guys? Well, it's the big show. Breaking no tonight, dog. Rob Van Dam says he was in talks. Oh, let's hear what he has to say.
I wanted to be one of.
Shout out TMZ Inside the Ring. They're getting all these fucking interviews. Everybody's sliding into the pro wrestling space. Every J-Brown is sliding in because it's pop. And if that doesn't speak volumes, people want to talk like wrestling's fucking, no, it's not as, or like Vince Russo, bro, it's all shit. Bro, let me tell, the numbers are fake. I don't know, man. Seems like everybody's jumping on the fucking wrestling wagon,
return matches for John Cena on his retirement tour. I was talking to them. There was a lot of interest. Without giving away too many details, we were probably going to do it.
Oh, wow.
And then I broke my heels.
Oh, dude.
I was actually going to ask you about that if there was any type of question in that. Oh, that's such a, I mean, there's still time. How many months do we have till December?
We have 7 dates left. I don't know.
7 more dates.
My mind isn't there right now, to tell you the truth. I can tell you that. I wanted to be one of the return matches for John Cena on his retirement tour.
I mean, is RVD making this up? Just kidding. So Triple H on Pat McAfee show, they're talking about this WrestlePalooza, and Indianapolis is happy because they wanted like a WrestleMania really bad. And they're talking about this thing could be a WrestleMania, like moving forward, a yearly WrestleMania type event. Now, maybe that's the case. Dude, they're doing anime commercials during fucking AEW, of course. No, shout out Demon Slayer. But yeah, man, Cody Rhodes is going to be there. Triple H spoils it. Now, in what capacity? Is it a run-in? Is it a big heel turn? I have a feeling they're going to do something crazy at this show. It's not just going to be matches. It's going to be some wild shit the same way. And everyone's like, Triple H needs that pop and that surprise. Well, he keeps doing shit successfully. And I don't think this is just going to end with a happy ending. Pause. It could be, and I ain't talking about one of them Chinese massage parlors. It could be like another crazy heel turn or a title switch or just something we don't see coming, Maybe Rhodes aligns with Brock or something. Maybe not that, but Rhodes will be there. I don't know if he's wrestling. People's movie schedules are coming up / Rhodes is in the middle of stuff / him and Drew want to do a long program, okay, if they have their way. So hopefully we get that. I would love to see Drew become a WWE champion, man. That would fucking rule. Even if it's not for a long time. Even if he's that guy where it's like, oh, my misfortune, and he just like loses it. I'm not saying that same night the way Punk did, but it'd be awesome, man, to see him have like a little reign, even a 3-month reign, a 6-month reign, something like that. Anyways, here is Pat McAfee getting spoilers about Cody Rhodes.
Yeah.
I jumped the shark, okay? I told you what the spoiler was. Let's hear Triple H.
Yeah,
though.
spoiler right now. Cody will be back.
And he's going to be on Kill Tony, he said. That'll be funny. The last episode fucking sucked.
Indianapolis. So we're
Oh my God.
That's big time.
Yeah.
Bad boo.
Tyrese Halliburton's there too. Oh, talk to Ricochet.
Boo. We don't know what the words are.
No.
We've tried our best.
I actually think those are the words. Yeah.
That's what we hear.
Those are the words.
Every time we try to.
You got the whoa down.
Yeah, we know when it's
That's
coming.
the most important part. You guys have it.
Yeah, everybody was tired. Everybody was
It's
exhausted.
right before the final round.
Yeah.
Well, Cody Rhodes will be there. RVD had this to say about Brock Lesnar, who will also be at WrestlePalooza. I can't wait for WrestlePalooza. Again, the name's not so bad. Some people in the IWC are like, it's starting to grow on me and shit. I've seen that around, especially after like a lot of people were hating on it. It's not that it's a bad name. I just feel like the WrestleMania event should be Wrestle whatever. But if they're saying this could be like a Mania level event every year, then it's like, okay, I'll give you that. But it's just the fact Tony Khan was like Wrestle Dream and Wrestle Dynasty and all this shit. And then there's Wrestle Kingdom. It just seems like you're trying to knock off your own shit. But hey, WrestlePalooza, let's do it. 2-night event this year.
What are your thoughts on Brock?
Brock is he's like one of the. I mean, next to The Rock, he's definitely one of the biggest stars. I've always been a fan of Brock. He brought credibility to the sport by being the WWE heavyweight champion and the UFC heavyweight champion. Didn't he have those both at the same time? I think he did.
So I don't know.
He was the man anyway, and he's the guy. He's the guy I want to see people go up to him and ask him if wrestling's fake. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, seriously.
He's an animal, and so whatever you can do with him creatively, I hope it's good. So I would like to see him and Cena go at it, and then I'd like to see Cena and The Rock go at it.
What are your thoughts on?
It's crazy that the UFC WWE merger happened after, but maybe here's the thing. Imagine this. Let me hit a little X-Files, okay? And just, I don't know. I know Brock said, no, I'm done in MMA. MMA, I'm done. He also said he was done wrestling, though, okay? Just follow me here. They missed the boat on having, a WWE world champion, world heavyweight champion, or WWE champion. The goal was they wanted Brock to walk out with that WWE title on a UFC show, on a UFC event, and be simultaneous champ and fucking, win the belt. Dana White was so opposed to that shit. The furthest he went was to get Brock, I think, to fight on UFC 200, it had to be sponsored by 2K, what was it, 16 or whatever fucking game it was at the time, right? Do you think the WWE and TKO and all that shit could be thinking well, let's put the WWE strap on this guy and he'll go have another MMA fight? I'm not saying I've heard shit like that. I'm just saying that would be fucking cool. Now, Brock, could he still fight? Probably. Here's the thing, man. UFC's heavyweight division doesn't have a lot of depth. And if John Jones is I'm going to fight at the White House and shit, he fucking retired so he didn't have to fight Tom Aspinall because Tom Aspinall would smoke him. But I know in John Jones's brain, he thinks he could beat Brock Lesnar. They're doing that White House card. Aspinall's the real heavyweight champ. Like, he's defending it against Cyril Gane. People don't even really want to see that fight. I'm going to tell you how that fight's going to go. Cyril Gane's going to get TKO'd in the first round. Aspinall and Gane. So it's like, and I'm not saying Brock versus Aspinall, but like Brock versus Jones for like a BMF title, and he walks out with the WWE title and tries to beat Jones, or maybe they try and do Brock versus maybe the UFC World Champ. I don't know if he wants to fight anymore. Okay, and like Aspinall would whoop him, but Jones is a fight where the rumors are as well that Jones was like, give me 30 million and I'll fight Aspinall. And then UFC went, okay, we'll give you 30, because TKO's making money like crazy. They're like, okay, here's 30 mil. And then he's like they called his bluff. He was like, oh, actually, I'm good. And he just vacated and retired. But if they were like Brock Lesnar, 20 mil or whatever, would that not be a super fight that would draw eyeballs that, you know, it could be something to wake people up for MMA as well? Like, say what you will about Brock, man. He does numbers for them. He's a freak show. People love him. It's all under the TKO banner. He walks out with the WWE title on UFC programming like he wanted to do forever. Like Paul Heyman's wanted to have happen forever. Like fucking everyone in WWE. I know that's kind of a Vince thing, but it's still Vince. He's TKO, dude. Vince is still TKO. And Dana White's a part of it all. And it's becoming a freak show. MMA is more and more. Maybe that's too fucking deep, but all I'm saying is that interest John Jones versus Brock Lesnar for the WWE world title in a shoot fight, bro. That at the White House card, not actually for the WWE title. I'm joking, but that's more interesting to me than Mayweather Tyson. Way more interesting. That's a dream match everybody wanted to see, Brock and John Jones, at a certain point in time. So before Kane came a knocking. So I'd be totally into that. And maybe that could happen. I don't know. Ethan Page took a nasty bump on NXT. Man, what an episode of NXT. Another great one, dude. And yeah, they'll fucking get me for this. So he falls backwards through the middle rope, though. Not to like excuse it, but right on the back of his head. Just sloppy Tavion Heights shit. And this was like a flag on a pole match or whatever. Tavion won. But like, dude, you can't be doing. And I'm not saying Tavion's like sloppy, but they're just like really pushing him really fast. And like, you can't be dropping Ethan Page on the back of his head. Botches happen, but come on, man. It's like a whatever flag match that Ethan Page is losing. So he doesn't lose his title, but he loses the flag match. And then fucking Tyler Breeze came back. So we had DIY. Rhea Ripley was on NXT. They're building up to the homecoming show next week, and I don't think it's head to head with AEW, is it? It's just their homecoming show at Full Sail. And so they're doing, instead of like ECW and all this shit, they're doing like NXT goats, right? So they're hyping up Bobby Roode and all the shit that came before, man. And NXT had so much good shit. Undisputed Era, Bo Dallas, Neville, Paige, Emma, fucking American Alpha versus DIY and FTR, and you had what was their names, Victor and Connor, the Ascension. You had Enzo and Cass. Bro, come on, man, bro. You had fucking such a good tag team division. Think about all the legends: Asuka, Samoa Joe, Finn Balor, Bobby Roode. I might have said him twice. He was so good. Andrade and Zelina were cooking down there, man. So much good shit to remember. And it's awesome that they're like kind of honoring some of that past NXT stuff. And that'll be a really good show. It'll be really stacked. But also Tyler Breeze came out, and he's going to challenge Ethan Page. Two good Canadian boys battling it out for the North American title. So Booker T says Matt Riddle will never make it back to the major leagues. We covered all that earlier, man. He really shot himself in the foot, I feel like. Raw is number 1 in the US on Netflix ahead of Wednesday, which is fucking bananas. And it's always number 1 for like the night. And then it scoots below there. And then Dave goes, they fudged the numbers, but he's just struggling with his sexuality. I mean, his with reality lately. Rey Mysterio discusses the possibility of another match against Dom Mysterio. And this was on the Raw recap. Again, they're so sticklers about their pods, man. And WWE's got to chill on that. But anyways.
Sam's fantasy booking over here.
If Dominic Mysterio were to win the AAA Mega Championship, you know, everybody has had these ideas of like maybe one day, maybe mask versus hair, maybe this, maybe that. Right. Is there a universe where there's a Rey Mysterio, Dominic Mysterio AAA Mega Championship match somewhere in the universe?
You know, but they're never say never, right? Although prior to our match at WrestleMania,
And guys, they added AJ Styles. They added TNA AJ Styles to 2K as well as one of those personas. So like we're getting Abyss, we're getting AJ. I mean, I've heard this shit. I've talked about it a bunch on the show. I heard that next year they're going to have like a TNA. There's going to be heavy TNA influence and AAA influence in that game. So they're already adding it when this game's been out for a long time already. Like as far as these games go, in my opinion, they should just release an update and then charge like $30 for it and drop these games every like 2-3 years. All sport, like a new version. All sports games should do that. Just drop like an expansion update that costs like half the price, but then even half the price. Games are so expensive. And then you just like remove some of the content. And it's just like a big update where like some of the old content is removed and then some of this shit is updated or whatever. Because they can do it, you know? And it would help them refine like the way they sell these games and shit, because it's like they're still adding all these wrestlers and stuff to the game all the way up until the new game comes out. And then it's like, okay, I got to get a new game and just fuck that game. And they're able to get away with it year after year, but something's got to give eventually with all of that shit.
yeah, a lot of things were happening with the family and how he was stepping over boundaries that he never.
Because next year, what do they do to the island? They close this island, then do another island, we're on a boat this time, like NBA 2K or whatever. Like fuck around. What you do is just charge even $60 or some shit, like $50, $40. $40 is fair. This is like the 2K26 update. And then you just update the menus. You don't even need to like go that crazy. You could just like update the background pictures and shit. Add on. You don't even need a new showcase. You know, just add a bunch of wrestlers. Remove some shit if you need to, like wrestlers that aren't in the company and shit. But you still owned their likeness for that game. That way you could kind of get away with it too. Right? It would be a hustle until people caught on. Like, oh, we released Braun Strowman, but he's still in 2K26, the update, because you know what I mean? And as far as graphical updates go, it's like, I don't even need graphical updates from WWE right now, games. We need like a more expansive universe mode. We need an online universe mode, the way you can have online franchises in like EA and Madden or like NBA 2K. Anyways, I'm video game marking out. Whatever. Ray would wrestle Dom again. All right. So WWE Raw on Netflix views for the Labor Day episode, which aired at 2 p.m. Eastern from Paris, hit an all-time low. And it's funny because Dave's just like all-time low. There's no like it was a holiday and on at 2 p.m. But then for Collision, he's like massive bounce back, Brian. But yeah, Raj Giri says the show scored 2.4 million views globally. 5.2 million hours viewed. So it's up 4% in the hours viewed. Why? Because people watched it after or later. The show ranked number 5 for the week in the US and 8 globally, down from 6. And Switchblade says this has to be the biggest proof against Netflix fudging the numbers. Hours viewed is up. If they were fudging the viewers by playing around with runtimes, this would have been an easy opportunity to inflate the viewership. Instead, they reported the lowest they've ever done. So do you guys get it when Dave Meltzer's like, oh, they fudged the numbers, Bryan? You know what they do, Bryan?
Oh my God, it's the greatest thing I've ever seen.
They lie, they manipulate them, Bryan. Except actually, Batman. This would have been the easiest time to fudge them and be like, well, our views up, or our overall views, like hours watched, are up. So our live viewers, let's just fudge the numbers and say it was more because we're up 5% from last week, which wasn't an all-time low. But they said they did an all-time low, and then they said that they're up in the hours watched, meaning people watched it later. Seems to me like that's an honest thing to do, is say something like that. That's the opposite of fudging. And Dave Meltzer will just, this is proof they fudged them. So JBL says Ronda Rousey's disrespectful comments show she doesn't understand the business. Hey, JBL, you listen to PWT or what? No, that's what I said too, though. I was like, she doesn't get it. That's so disappointing. So yeah, Worlds Collide on Friday. Should we watch it, chat? SmackDown and AAA? Should we fucking do it? Rusev says his main goal in his current run with WWE is to help younger wrestlers. And he says, my main goal was, to show these young kids that they need to take advantage of the opportunity they have to show up every day, work hard, and strive for more, because I see a lot of them, they just are complacent, and I've been there, and I know how they feel, so I wanted to help them. Fuck yeah, dude. Rusev rules. Here is La Yesca puppets, official ones. They go for $60 USD. I mean, come on. You could find that shit for $12 at a whatever store, a thrift store or something. No, not a thrift store. That's not like a gift shop or a Walmart or something. You get there's a scissors here. Lariat. Sorry, I get distracted by the scissors spot, and then my brain starts spurging out. You get scissors from a Walmart as well. Okay, Shelton's. They're saying EC dub. He just breaks them in half and tosses. That's the right thing to do. So Brie Bella regrets her WWE return after her childbirth. Building resentment, are we? No. So she says, I guess I have huge regret, was the way I felt like I needed to come back I was 7 months postpartum, maybe at that time, maybe 10. And I think as we were filming both reality shows, they were really pushing me to be like, get back in the ring. Let's do like a Brie comeback. But I did not feel ready, and I kind of just let everyone plan everything for me. For so long, I did everything for everyone, especially when we were filming the reality show. I felt obligated, almost like I owed everyone something. So if someone asked something of me, I just did it without thinking like, do I want to? Am I ready? I never thought about myself. So I did so much for so many people, like a people pleaser mentality, that I think I did a disservice to myself until I got into my 40s. You know what I mean? Okay. Well, I do hope we see her back, but like even Nikki's getting added to the game and shit. I'm telling you guys, there's shit where Triple H just doesn't give a fuck about Brie Bella and doesn't want Danielson snooping around there. And her just like, what's a man's wife gonna not come home and tell him shit about work and stuff? And that's all it is, man. And I just don't think he cares. I think they always looked at Nikki as like the marketable, pushable one of the two if they had to pick one, unfortunately. Bully Ray on AJ Lee's return to Raw, which I thought was so fucking good. God damn, that segment was awesome. And her debut on her re-debut rather on SmackDown was great as well. And that whole storyline, it made Seth and Becky like tolerable again and shit,
AJ Lee told us
last night who she was, where she's been, why she's come back. All of the bullet points were hit. If I did not know anything about AJ Lee before that promo started last night, I knew everything I needed to know after it was done. Awesome. The who, the what, the when, the where, the why, and the how. Every point addressed. If Dusty...
Yeah, AJ Lee is doing awesome fucking promos, period. Like, up against anyone. I know a lot of the time some of the women, and not just to single the women out, because a lot of the guys are like that too. But sometimes I get it where some of the women's promos can kind of come across the same inflections and shit. That's why Becky stands out. People like Bailey who know how to speak in their own, find their own voice type of thing, right? And the men struggle with that too, but it seems like men with their promos kind of click a little bit, I don't know, a little bit quicker, I would say, you know? We have more guys who can like rip on the mic than women. And again, not shitting on the women, just saying what it is. I would say in ring and putting on matches, like if you watch NXT, I think coming soon, the women overtake the men as far as like character and matches, just putting matches together and shit. Like watch a Kalani Jordan match. She's just cooking all the time. It's like, what the fuck? Anyways, mark out about NXT later. AJ Lee's promo to me is like one of the realest. These last couple, or her Raw promo, it just comes across as like one of the realest fucking promos of like man, woman, anyone on the roster, you know, which I was a little worried it was going to come across like, I don't know, for some reason you have like early AJ Lee. It's not like she has a list of iconic fucking promos. She has some moments because she's kissing dudes and shit. We all remember that. A lot of them, you know. It's because she's kissing someone, the kiss of death. And she doesn't have a lot of iconic promos, but no, it's Pipe Bomb AJ is right there. Like she's in full Cook mode the whole fucking time, right? I guess we keep saying Cook. I said I was going to retire that. We're retiring that, goddammit. But yeah, it's like Pipe Bomb AJ this whole time. And it's some of the realest shit on the show. And I love it. And I agree with Bully here is what I'm saying.
Was here, he would be so happy. Because she sold tickets last night. And that's what you want to do.
Boom. Talk the asses in the seat. Shut out Busted Open. So Carmelo Hayes returned and he realigned with Trick Williams on NXT. And it's weird with the NXT main roster crossovers. It's like people just switch to heel and babyface, like NXT's in this other universe. Let's keep some consistency, WWE. If you're going to do this more, you can't just have Carmelo like kind of being face, but kind of he's not fully done his turn yet, but people are getting behind him. And then DIY are like full blown assholes on the main roster. And then their baby faces here talking shit to Trick. Like keep some consistency. People aren't fucking dumb. Most people who watch NXT watch Raw and SmackDown, you know? So here's what Logan Paul had to say about the GOAT John Cena. And he took him to school like the Dean Douglas, dude.
About halfway through the match, I felt very viscerally two things. One, holy shit, John Cena is so fucking good. He is that good. And there will be people who hear that who know wrestling and people who hear that who don't know wrestling. And the people who don't know wrestling will go, well, like, how can he be good? Like, don't you know what's going to happen? Like, okay, if you don't know the business, that's a fair assessment. If you know.
The worst shit is when people try and point out, oh, they rehearse every single thing in the back. Now, that is more of a modern thing, but they fucking don't. I need redacted people out there to understand. No, they don't. They plan out spots. And sure, early on, you probably do. I'm sure these indie guys do a lot of planning because they're doing all this crazy shit. But when you get to a certain level, you can just call it in the ring, dude. We just called it in the ring, brother. Double face turn switch in the fucking ring, Jack, in the Silver Dome in Toronto in front of 93 million fans, dude. And yeah, that's the one thing that cringes me out. It's almost like, yo, you don't know that they don't call every single thing in the back
of the business, and you know all the intricacies that go into this craft. Like, the viewer will never truly understand just how difficult this sport is. And I'm in there in the ring with literally the greatest of all time, not only working, but admiring and also like learning. Felt like I was kind of at school, and as a absorber of knowledge and someone who wants to be the best, I'm trying to just take in this way, John, I do take as much information and knowledge as I can while I'm in the ring with the greatest of all time during what will be my last match with him on his
Yeah, that's amazing. And Logan gets it.
retirement tour. He's not coming back. That was my last match with John Cena. So that was one realization. This guy's so fucking good at this. It's scary. I said this on my tweet. John Cena.
Imagine any AEW wrestler talking like this about a legend or some shit. You know, you just don't hear it. It's always like, oh, fuck those guys. Oh, you're just fucking hateful. They're all paid shills. Come on, bro.
Wrestles better than Pablo Picasso paints. Sorry to all the Picasso stands out there, but he is so good at what he does. Working with him was such a privilege, and I leveled up. Not just like I climbed a couple rungs of the ladder that night, but also even just in my ability to now look back at the work that we made and assess. 2, I was so fucking tired. I was exhausted. He's a heavy guy, and I had gotten married 2 weeks earlier. Like,
what a weird honeymoon.
2 weeks prior. No, literally, like my honeymoon was wrestling John Cena. Like I took about a week.
Pretty awesome.
Not off, but
dude, this motherfucker did a podcast at his wedding. He was doing like ad reads and shit.
You can imagine I wasn't like training as hard as I normally would because I'm traveling. I'm getting married. I'm hanging out, and
we had some good nights,
some real good nights, some long nights too, man. I was up till like 9:30 a.m. the last morning. And
Big Mike's like, Fox.
Yeah, I got married, and then 2 weeks
I
later,
was there. It was awesome. I was invited. I got some fly out girls to meet me at the wedding.
Took on the biggest challenge of my life in wrestling John Cena. So although I did not come away with the victory, Mike, I did come away with more victories than I can count in terms of what I learned in this sport, and hopefully the respect that I gained, because I knew that this match was going to be a banger.
Fuck yeah. He just gets it. Some people are just born to do some shit. He was born to be a pro wrestler. Would have been nice if he avoided all that Japan shit and all the crypto shit, you know, the CoffeeZilla stuff and all that. Would have been awesome. Can't go back in time. Just chin down, get to work, and hopefully he works all that stuff out, but he just gets pro wrestling, man. So the speed tournament continues. Candice LeRae beat Zaya Brooke, TNA's Zaya Brookside. Lainey Reed took on Fabi Apache, gets the win. It is Lainey Reed versus Candice LeRae. They're giving this Lainey Reed girl a really good push in NXT. Just kind of out of nowhere, it seems like. And Sol Ruka will take on either or. And it says Sol Ruka is a SmackDown, an official SmackDown wrestler. So is that on the graphic department? I don't know what happened there, but at No Mercy. Are you guys digging the speed tournament shit on NXT? I just don't know. They kind of got rid of the Heritage Cup stuff, so maybe it's better than that. TKO Executive says WrestlePalooza could be another WrestleMania or SummerSlam for us. We talked about this before. Tyler Breeze came back. He didn't get like a massive pop, but I popped for it because I'm a mark. WWE is not nowhere. WWE is not nowhere UFC is on its. Okay, guys, did you quote this correctly? Who's writing this down on the Twitter? On the Twitter machine. WWE is not nowhere UFC is on its ticket yield, and we have some work to do here. Vince McMahon was pricing tickets on family and not maximizing prices. TKO's Mark Shapiro. And WWE, they're talking about raising ticket prices even more. So Triple H says WWE has been a part of creating change for women in Saudi Arabia. Now, I don't know about all that, but I have been an advocate, and I have said, look, man, women are fighting in the UFC and WWE in Saudi Arabia. That's the only, like, they're able to do that. There's women on billboards. Even if it's like out of the way and it's a propaganda picture, maybe that's not the best thing in the world, but they are like loosening up things for people in Dubai, like visit Westerners or whatever who go and visit that part of the world, and in Riyadh and Abu Dhabi and all this shit. I don't know, man. I would just say it is a good thing. Like, and we've seen the outfits. I'm not saying they need to be dressed in like with their cheeks out and everything, but we've seen the women's outfits kind of become more, they don't have to wear baggy t-shirts and one color only, you know, and a baggy t-shirt. We get they're chilling out a little bit. We get to see them like wear gear that actually makes sense for them, that isn't really distracting. Like, you're just, okay, if they wore that shit on Raw, it would look normal, right? But Triple H says that it's been their goal since the beginning to change their perception. No, to change how they are, to open up that umbrella for women and with the country takes time. Pardon me, folks. You can't just do that stuff all at once, or you alienate all the people that are in front of it and had old long-standing belief. You've got to do it over time. Yeah, that's the thing, too. You can't just be like, well, here's Rhea Ripley's cheeks. You can't just do that, man. It does take time. I truly believe that to initiate change, you got to be a part of it. You can't just sit back on the sidelines and say, we're not going to participate in that, and these people don't do the things right. It's crazy because Saudi Arabia is doing this like big comedy fest in Riyadh as well. And all these virtue signaling motherfuckers, all these comedians, man, they're like taking the money too. So I just think like the perception of that part of the world, and maybe even some of their society, might be changing a bit, or at least the part they have sectioned off for rich people to go there and watch boxing matches or whatever. So I don't know, man. WWE, they're doing the damn thing. If you want to make the argument that they are supporting a change for women's rights in the Middle East, I mean, I think that's a fair argument, and I've made that as well. I mean, I'm not sitting here saying, I think in like 2020, they revoked women's rights to drive or some shit, not like 2022 or something, not even that long ago. I think, if I'm not mistaken, I'm not all geopolitical and shit. Someone can fact check me on that. So I don't know if it's headed in that direction, or if it's kind of like it's stars that people want to see. And again, I'm not saying like the wrestlers need to be like all thonged up and shit like they are here in America and in the West. But at the same time, I definitely do say that there's some validity to Triple H's argument there, and on the UFC's front as well. So, and also people have gone there and said, like, people have gone to Saudi Arabia and after their fight been like, my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. And it's not like an international incident where it's like, oh, he gets locked up for expressing his views. Like, they're just, I think whoever's in charge of all this shit out there in Saudi, Turkey Al-Sheikh, whoever you want to give credit to, they understand, like, we're bringing in these companies from other cultures, and the reason we're doing that is because of the shows they put on and what they do. And I think obviously it's a testament that WWE's been able to, like, at first they're like, we want Yokozuna and Ultimate Warrior, and they're just like, those guys are dead. Remember they were asking for that? The Saudis wanted like wrestlers who aren't even alive anymore, and and they remember that plane got held hostage allegedly and all that shit. We've come such a long way from that. to where the women wrestlers are going there and they section off a private beach for them so they can take bikini pics and do a photo op. And make no mistake about it, they know that those wrestlers are going to take pictures in their fucking bikinis in Saudi Arabia and go, oh, the beaches are beautiful, even though it's sectioned off to everyone else and posted on their Instagrams and shit. And that's just good promotion for them and their tourism and shit. And they're letting influencers do their shit down there. Maybe it is changing, okay? Maybe it's changing into degeneracy. I don't know. But I think sports bring people together. There's some things that are meant to bring people together. I think sports is one of them, unless you're that lady who got her nose exploded at that Texans game, or was it which game was that in LA? I can forget where it was. She was a Texans fan or whatever. Or if you are, just it brings, that's a joke, folks. But I think those sorts of things do bring people together more so than not. So, but it is sort of like this like privileged thing that's kind of sectioned off. Not that I'm like, oh, privilege and shit. I'm not saying that. It's just like can you afford to go to these shows? Who are going to these shows? Influencers. They bring out these fucking the Nelk boys and shit so they can post about it, and it's like free publicity for them. You know, that's what I mean by that. It's like people who could give a fuck less. You know, it's not even for a lot of this stuff, that a lot of the events that get held down there. Not to say their people aren't like big, huge wrestling marks and shit. You're seeing more and more of it as well. The crowds are more sophisticated out there as well. We notice it in the chants, how they pop for talent. They're keeping up with the storylines and shit. And that's why it's weird with the whole women's gear. It's like they're watching it on TV, or do they censor those parts and cut them out? Or do they have like a Saudi Arabia cut for Raw? Like, how are they keeping up with the shit? And I don't know. It's interesting. And while avoiding the cheeks, I don't know. But Triple H talks about the paparazzi. I guess like people got fucking photos pulled down and people got in trouble and shit. And Triple H and Steph went after people. And I hope the IWC feels like a lot of feel like assholes right now, because Triple H said that his kids gave him that bathing suit that everyone was mocking him for having for 25 years. I mean, who doesn't keep a pair of shorts for a long ass time, especially if you don't wear them a lot? I mean, I have shit with holes in it that I'll wear around the yard or whatever, you know. But he says, my kids gave me that bathing suit and I only wear it on special occasions. We were like a mile out in the ocean. The guy shooting that picture had a cannon. Right. And he was just stalked on, and it was paparazzis and shit. And then people roasted him. And that's unfortunate. And it's shitty that people roasted him when it's like, I don't know. He's a 50-year-old fucking man. How old is he? Him and his wife, they look good for their age. Rhea Ripley, Tiffany Stratton, and Stephanie Vaquer all showed up on NXT. NXT did a 654K average viewers and a 0.14. Someone on X asked, like, what's the over-under? 527 for AEW for this episode. I took the over only by a little bit on that. But we'll see. Is there football on right now? So WrestleLamia posted this. D-Generation X runs WWE now. If only Billy Gunn could come back there. He will. But the chief content officer of WWE, booker of NXT, is Shawn Michaels. Road Dogg is the co-lead writer for SmackDown. And Sean Waltman is the head coach of WWE ID. It's unfortunate Hall and Nash weren't like in the mix somehow too. And obviously Hall, RIP. And Road Dogg doing his thing. Good for Sean Waltman as well, because all the wrestlers say, or at least the clique says, like, that's the guy you wrestle to know if you're any good. Like, you wrestle him and he gives people the okay. Like, yeah, they'll do fine, or they're ready, or whatever. And he'll be a good scout for talent on the indies, man. Conan on WWE's handling of AAA. He says, so far, I'm very happy, bro. Conan! Of course he'd say that. He's just a paid shill. So Triple H cooks the whiny IWC right here.
Getting hit on the shins is what you're saying. It sounds like.
Yeah, to a degree. But my point being that sometimes, it's funny that like the internet is all complaining that we're lifting the curtain and showing you stuff. Meanwhile, they're doing a podcast
talking about Unreal.
That all it does is talk about the behind the scenes shit that's going on.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't understand that logic, right? Like, the world knows an 8-year-old kid picks up his iPhone, Google stuff, and it tells them all the behind the scenes stuff right there.
Getting hit on the shins.
Yeah, man. On kid YouTube, there's people who make little shorts that'll go like, the WWE, here's like top 5 WWE behind the curtain moments and stuff. And that shit doesn't get age restricted. And it's good for WWE. But yeah, there's people pulling the curtain back on like fucking reels on TikTok, I'm sure, and shit, So chairman of Saudi Arabia, speaking of the Saudis, General Entertainment Authority Turkey, Al Sheikh, has announced that WrestleMania 43 is headed to Saudi Arabia in 2027. Alhamdulillah, did-it-la-la, bam, wham, when we getting Arab money, dun, 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 we getting Arab money. You guys know that song? Dude, Saudi Arabia, man, will be the host of Mania. I called it too. Like, there's no fucking way they don't get one. Every other one, every third one will be there. Don't be shocked if they go, oh, we're going to double or nothing Saudi. I think what we're going to get, and I've been saying this, and people will say it way after me, as it always happens. But we will get to a point where it's like night one's in Saudi, or maybe not Saudi, but like night one's in Detroit and night two's in LA or some shit. We're going to get to that point where it's 2-night. They'll even do 3-night. Maybe not that much for just one event, but you need time for stand and deliver and all that. Or what do they call it these days? Stand and deliver. Yeah. But I'm being exaggerative, but I could totally see them, because back in the day they did that where WrestleMania was like in 3 places, but they did that to make it seem like a big event, knowing that they couldn't draw like a huge amount of people to the one place, right? So they did it in 3 places to make it like this big event seem bigger than it was. We're going to get, because WrestleMania is so popular, for a whole fucking weekend, one night could change the economy. We're going to get to that point where WrestleMania is one night here, one night here. Maybe not. Maybe if cities will continue to just bid for both nights, but I could see them maybe testing that out with a SummerSlam or a Rumble, and then fucking saying, okay, it worked. Like, now we can pitch these events as, look at what we do in multiple cities. We generate, if we did 2 shows in one city, we'd have generated almost the same amount of revenue, whatever the fuck. Maybe logistically that doesn't work for WWE. Maybe that's too much travel and all that shit. But I could just see it getting that big where they're just like, fuck it, we'll let 2 cities bid for each night. Try and outbid each other for each, who's going to get night 1, who's going to get night 2. That could totally end up happening in the future. And I'm just looking at that as a money play. As a viewer, it's like, I don't want that to happen, to be perfectly honest. And I don't give a fuck if WWE's making more money, unless it means they're going to give me like cooler stages and bring in superstars, like big name superstars, and things like have the best signings and make sure the stages are the best and fucking all of those sorts of things. I would love to see WWE try and do a show in the Sphere as well. They might as fucking well. You're making all this money. Do something like that for the fans. How will it come across on TV? I don't know. I think WWE, if any sport could do something cool with it, I think it's WWE. Just the way the Trons work and how they've already played and been ahead of the curve on like, hey, we're going to put like 3D floaty shit in the air. Look at the NFL now. They have fucking Panthers running and taking bites out of the field and all this shit, and Falcons swooping down, and dropping goats to their death off cliffs. No. WWE was like on the forefront of all that shit with the Trons and putting the fucking snake poops in the air and the Roman Reign big dogs and all that. So I think they would kick ass in the Sphere, but I'm getting ahead of, but here's the, this is why I brought that up, because the Saudis will foot the bill for that. They help do it for UFC. So it's like, hey, Saudis, do you want to do an event in the Sphere? And like, instead of a Mania, they're going to end up going to Saudi every 3 years for WrestleMania. Or maybe they'll alternate, like Saudi will get WrestlePalooza or whatever, but Saudi's going to demand a WrestleMania. Like, they can outbid everyone for it, if that's what it boils down to. And the way it sounds when it comes to WWE, that's what it boils down to. A number of people that had posted the pictures of Triple H and Stephanie McMahon on vacation claimed they had received legal notices of some sort. It wasn't said if this was simply a cease and desist or more, but it was intimated that it was the photo agency as opposed to WWE or the family. There were a number of people in WWE that were frustrated and upset that the pictures emerged, calling it an invasion of privacy, regardless of technicalities involving legality. The claim was they were paparazzi snap photos and not released with permission. I mean, you can't really control that. You guys are famous. You know, how are you going to control the paps? But those guys are just slime buckets. So Shawn Michaels says he gets a lot of peace and comfort from the idea that handing over the reins to the business to WWE champion Cody Rhodes. He says, you're always comforted when you're handing over the reins to Cody Rhodes. So they're just saying it. We're handing it over to Rhodes. Matt Riddle's like, oh, bro, CM Punk's got a tiny dick and he's a creep backstage and I'll totally beat him up for realsies. Bro, I'm killing it. He's a creep backstage. And it's like, dude, he's gonna be the Shawn Michaels of NXT or whatever the fuck, you know, like they're trained. It's like him and Seth and Rhodes and some of these guys. John Cena even said it. I'll be there in a suit. I'll be wearing a suit. I'll be there in a business capacity. You don't think Cena's gonna like produce some matches and pitch creative and be like a Paul Heyman guy in those fucking meetings? When all's said and done, he can fall back on that if he's like, oh, I'm done making movies or whatever the fuck. It's the future of the business. It should be passed on to Cody Rhodes. Fucking Dusty Rhodes' kid. Look what he did for AEW. People are like, oh, Cody Rhodes, and Danielson was saying this bullshit, which we're going to talk about in a bit. Cody Rhodes is a bigger star because of AEW. Yeah. Yes, he is. You're goddamn right. And AEW only exists because of him. And who was booking his shit when he was in AEW? It's fucking him. So it's because of him. You can chalk it up to AEW all you want. It's because of him that any of that even happened in the first place. So it's him. Yeah, because of him, he got really over. You're goddamn right he did. Anyways, FTL War. So No Mercies at the FTL War Memorial Auditorium. It's set up for 1,300, around 1,400. There's 1,200 tickets distributed. Love it. Loving it. Doing it. Just a bunch of ticket updates. I don't know why. I just saw them and I was like, huh, this is dope. Let's talk. We stopped talking about that as much, you know? It's interesting to look at. Booker T feels Ronda Rousey doesn't care about the business. JBL said she spit on it. And Booker T says, I think the wrestling world opened the doors to her, dog. And she just spit in the face of professional wrestling, man. That's what she's done. Oh, yeah. There's a reason why people don't like you. You know what I mean? I don't hear any of her old comrades in the UFC saying anything good about Ronda Rousey. Man, it would be great to have Ronda Rousey back for a reunion. Yeah, she has a lot of haters, like a lot of haters from the MMA world. That's for goddamn sure. Oh, it would be great to have Ronda here as an ambassador. Oh, it would be great to hear Ronda do some commentary. Nobody cares about Ronda Rousey but herself. Damn. And yeah, people say that. They're like, you don't see Ronda in the crowds at the UFC shows and shit. Other than Dana, people don't. Like, Dana fucking loves her, dude. Other than him, I don't think a lot of people do. And I'm not trying to shit on her, but she shit all over wrestling, so she has it coming. And that, ladies and gentlemen, was WWE. Moxley just acting cool. Yeah, I'm a cool guy. Let me check in with chat here. We got some super chats. Chris McCarty for 2 says Dave offers Tony handies after the media scrums. Oh my goodness. He offers to polish his flute. Give it the old spit shine. Oh, Haktua, the original Haktua. Am I right, guys? That Dave, he's a fucking hoe. No. Thomas Moore for 2 says WrestleMania 55, Uganda. Yeah, the crossover event in the mud. That's funny, man. Thank you. WrestleMania 55, Uganda. Didn't they hit like what country somewhere in Africa or something hit like a I'm just talking so out of my you just see shit online in passing. But someone hit like a gold chunk worth like $1 trillion or like a uranium chunk or something. Yeah, watch that place get invaded like tomorrow. You know. Christopher Miller for 5 says first nail in WWE coffin for Kooloff. Saudi before Europe WrestleMania will alienate a lot of people. I disagree with you, Christopher Miller. And thank you for the super chat. And thank you for supporting the show. Guys, there's like, I don't know, about 300. It's fluctuated 280, 290, 270. Just all over the place tonight when I've checked the numbers there. Thank you all. You guys are fucking amazing across X and YouTube. Come on over if you're on X. Check out my YouTube channels, man. I post funny videos and I don't know. Hopefully you guys get access to my member show, 99 cents. Those are always fun. Member Mondays. And they're a little different than these shows, but still along the same lines. And hit like, hit subscribe. I appreciate you guys all so much for being here tonight. And thank you for the super chat. But I disagree with you, Christopher Miller. I don't know if it'll alienate people. I think everybody will just watch it. It's in Saudi, whatever. But I agree with you that it's fucked up that we haven't gotten like a Wembley one. But I'm telling you guys, logistically, and people laugh. They're like, oh, come on now, Phil. That's not very fair. Like they go to fucking Saudi and shit. They go to Australia. I'm telling you, man, the UK just doesn't make sense for them. And like, and like in April, the weather's just like weird there. And I just don't know if they want to fucking do it. And I don't know if the UK or London or whatever can outbid the Saudis. So I think we'll see online outrage, Christopher Miller, but I don't think it'll really, people won't care. It's just IWC noise. It comes and it goes. You come and go. You come and go. Whoa. My voice is cooked from Al Snow and Vince McMahon. 626 for 2 says Phil is a real sharpshooter today. I'm Bret Hart, pal. I'm always shooting sharp, dude, like Nick Jackson. Right? The Young Bucks. Saudi is cheap, UK is expensive. Yeah, it just doesn't make sense for tourism and the weather. And Mark Shapiro saying WWE tickets are still too cheap. Is what will cool WWE off, not where Mania is. Hawk Tua could have had it all. Yeah, I mean, listen, dude, that's one of the biggest fumbles ever. Phil is a real scorpion deathlock. Yeah, dude. You know it. All you have to do is look at Philadelphia hosting WrestleMania a couple years ago and the weather wasn't exactly fan-friendly. Yeah. Okay, guys, let's get into, we have AEW news, ladies and gentlemen, a jam-packed show. I told you guys it would just be overloaded with fun action. As Brodito, okay, they tried to do like a big man lucha double team, didn't really work too well. The Death Riders just cringed me out. This is going to have an overrun too. Watch. It'll be like a 16-minute Collision cooking harder than Dynamite lately. Okay, let's get into everybody all together at the same time. Ichi Nissan da. For AEW News. So Hechicero confirmed that he is now under a dual contract with both AEW and CMLL. So good for him. There's a lot of hype on this guy. I don't see it or get it. I think his gear is generic, and I don't think his wrestling style is all that great. Just personally saying. Tony Khan! We have a lot of Tony Khan here. He speaks on Taz requesting that his 2300 Arena Hardcore Hall of Fame ceremony not be held on television. The Hardcore Hall of Fame. Like, what even is that? He shot me a text message and said, can we do this after the air or off the air? For all the reason he said later in the video we did together. He said he wanted to really give the screen time to the wrestlers today. Focus on them and not spend the TV time on honoring his legendary career, which I was excited to do, but I understood Taz's perspective. Taz said, hey, Wednesday Night Dynamite is for the wrestlers. Taz is the host of the show. He's a legend in wrestling. He's a great commentator. But he said, let's keep the wrestling show about the wrestlers today. In my retirement, my great career celebrating that, we can talk about that off the air. That was really selfless by Taz. I was happy to honor his request. So there you go, man. I believe Taz. They're just pushing it so hard, but he was asked about it. So yes, it is what it is. Tony Khan says he believes AEW has been having its best year yet in 2025. Every fucking year he says this. And he says, I think AEW is having our best year yet. Start to finish. We can pull this thing off right now in September. We can pull this thing off? What? Right now, in September and since January, I think we're having so far the best year of wrestling from January to September we've ever had. We've accomplished so many cool things this year, hit new milestones. We did our biggest crowd ever here in North America for All in Texas. Is their biggest crowd ever 18,000? We set the record for the most wrestling fans ever at the London O2 for Forbidden Door. Gonna have a huge crowd at All Out in Toronto. Huge crowd. I don't even think it's 10K. Our weekly TV shows, most importantly, are really good shows. If you look at the lineup of wrestlers in AEW right now and the quality of the shows that we're putting on, I think that if you keep this pace up, this will be our best year, and we'll have so much to look forward to next year. I mean, you can say that. He's just Carney promoting his Fed. I don't know if the quality of shows have gone up. I feel like a lot of it's repetitive nonsense. Yeah, is their biggest house 18K? Because that's crazy if it is. If that's their biggest U.S. house of all time to date, that's actually kind of crazy. I thought it would have been more than that, you know? So Will Ospreay... Alex Windsor said on Hey EW, she says, speaking of postmen, that's Ospreay's dream. So Bruv's dream is to be a fucking postman. I mean, good on him, I guess. When he leaves wrestling, he wants to be a postman. That's his retirement plan. He wants to be a postman. It's one of them things where he can be like, I used to be a wrestler, now I'm just a postie. Not any postman, a Royal Mail. So that's cool to have dreams outside of wrestling. And I mean, hopefully the herniated discs in your back permit you and allow you to, when you're in retirement age, walk around and deliver mail. It's a very autistic dream to have, but hey, who am I to judge, right? This is a very autistic show to have. So, there you go. Tony Khan talks about Bryan Danielson becoming a member of AEW's commentary team. And he says, as we were preparing for Forbidden Door, I thought Bryan said he found out the same way everyone else did online, that he's going to be on commentary. So Khan says, I thought Bryan would be fantastic on the commentary team for that show, knowing the background he has, knowing his insights into pro wrestling and how prepared he is and how much research he does on pro wrestling worldwide. Also, I think Bryan's a great star and people want to see Bryan Danielson on television and hear Bryan Danielson on television. I really thought Bryan would be a great part of the commentary team. He did a fantastic job on Forbidden Door. So I had talked to him maybe after his promotional tour of Australia was complete about Bryan joining us on Wednesday, and it worked out perfect. And they opened the show with him coming out and stuff. It's a way to get a fan pop, you know. AEW presents Full Gear, 6K tickets distributed, 7K is the setup. I mean, a good house for them, but how are sickos going to clown SmackDown for doing 6K when that's what Full Gear is doing? When is Full Gear? Do I got to watch that shit? Oh, it's in November. Well, so they actually did sell a good chunk for their setup, you know. Going to pay-per-views and shit is fun, so I get it. Do you think AEW is waiting too long to bring Britt Baker back? And DDP calls out Tony Khan over Britt Baker's absence. And yeah, she just got shelved, dude. That's all it is. You got to be a part of the right clique. And she was for a while. But she breaks up with Adam Cole, and people don't like her. And then the guard is changing a little bit. And yeah, Tony Khan is going to shit on you, dude. And it is a shame, but she's just not good in the ring. And where is she training? Show me training footage of her getting better every single day in the ring. Every day I want to see her get better and better. You know what I mean? So Bryan Danielson gives his take on WWE's counter-programming measures against AEW, wondering what the decision-making process on WWE's part is. And he says, I think of it and I wonder why. I think of it and I wonder, right? Like, I'm just curious with the people who are making these decisions, what they're thinking. So this is about the counter-programming, right? And this has to do with the WWE versus AEW war. And Danielson isn't so fond of it. He says, what are they thinking in the sense of this? Oh, okay, this AEW thing. It's real dangerous to our billion-dollar business. That can't be it. Yeah, it's not that. And there you go, sickos. Your fucking pride and joy. Danielson, your god. The god of indie wrestling, right? He just agreed with Phil Marks.
Idiot.
He just agreed with Phil Marks. So told you so again. I'm right again. I own you again.
This just in from Phil Marks of PWT. He says, I told you so.
The Fed isn't scared of AEW. It's not that. We're just in Ultra King Mega Man Petty mode. Tom Petty mode. So the one thing I think is that AEW existing and being this challenger brand and being as successful as we've been has changed the landscape for wrestling for the wrestlers themselves, but we're still the challenger brand catching up on however many years. Another company needs to humble AEW, and these motherfuckers saying this, but we're still the challenger brand catching up on however many years WWE has had. But it's interesting because we're not at the point of being a threat. So there you go, sickos. You're not a threat. Shut the fuck up. Just let's argue about how good the shows are. It's one of the things where people who really crave power and a lot of money play these weird games that I don't understand. It's like, okay, we're going to run all the competitors that might be competitive with us out of this business. Why? It's good for the wrestlers both in AEW and WWE. See, that's what I agree with. Like, the more feds, the better. As far as like with how deep and how bloated all of these rosters are. The more feds that are booked well, the better. for the fans. So again, this conversation of like the wrestlers. Yes, it's about you guys, but when you're all making millions and all this shit, at what point is it about the fans? Like even you, Danielson, are talking about it's better for the wrestlers. And it hasn't been better for the fans because of all the sicko redacts who go fucking crazy online. And we're in debates about fucking Nielsen ratings and shit that nobody understands. It's just stupid. And at what point does it become about the fucking fans, man? Jesus Christ. Has changed the landscape, etc. It's interesting because we're not at the point of being a threat. It's one of the thing where people, okay, it's been good for them. Like, okay, if AEW wouldn't have started, would Cody Rhodes be where he is right now? No. Right, but AEW wouldn't even exist. So that's like saying, oh, if I, like, it's the butterfly effect. If he never left WWE, would he be this big main event star? Maybe. He is Dusty Rhodes' kid. Like, maybe. Because when Vince got out of the way, maybe Triple H went, dude, Rhodes, it's your time. Like, we don't know. It's just like a weird thing. We don't have a fucking time machine, okay? But he's the reason AEW even exists. And he got himself over in AEW. He knew the right time to leave that fucking place. And he got himself super. It's not like they'd keep pushing him if it was an epic failure and everybody tuned out. It's not like less people are watching AEW and more watching WWE right now again. And people are paying these crazy prices for tickets because Cody Rhodes hasn't been good the last 3 years in WWE. Like if it was shit the last 3 years, it's not like his time in AEW, however many years ago. Yeah, that's why he went there. But you guys are still hanging your hats on that. Where's your star? Where's your fucking huge megastar that didn't come from WWE or that grew into a megastar? Was he a megastar in AEW? Maybe. He was helping it grow. Then he fucking left and it died. So, like, it's just this fucking boomer excuse. I'll call it a boomer excuse, I guess. I don't know why, but it's just this fucking talking point all these AEW guys still use that's like 5 years old. Or how many years has Cody Rhodes been back in AEW? Or WWE, rather. 3 years or whatever the fuck. If those were all shit, it wouldn't work. He still wouldn't be this big. You know what I mean? So, would CM Punk ever have come back to wrestling? Yes! I think he would have. I think if they were doing all these deals and Vince got out of the way and they were throwing all this money around, Triple H would have mended the fence. Yes. He's tried to multiple times. Triple H himself already tried to reach out to Punk prior. And Triple H said, I don't think Punk was where he needed to be. And I wasn't interested. So does that, because by all accounts, the rumors were that when Punk did that Fox show, WWE, he was trying to angle his way back into WWE at that time. And they were like, no. And that's why it ended up in a weird thing where he was just on Fox. So, yeah, I do think he would have come back. But Brian says, the people in WWE, a lot of the people I know are great people, so I'd be interested to know what's the decision-making process in this, but it's not my monkey, it's not my circus. Brian, be honest about fucking Tony Khan. All you fucking guys don't be honest about Tony Khan. This is the fucking
best
problem.
guys, Tony Khan.
It's because he called them bald assholes, said, I won't stand for this shit. Told what's his faces, Undertaker and John Cena in a tweet like, you motherfuckers didn't get 1 million views or whatever on NXT. And this is why, Danielson, ready? You have Garcia in a faction with Yuta. Like the two fucking guys are now in the same faction even with Moxley. These two fucking clown shoes that no one will ever get behind. Listen to that crowd chanting, you sold out. And now Mox is just jumping Darby. Like, be honest. This is shit booking, Tony Khan. Hey, apologize for calling them bald assholes, and maybe some of the WWE fans will give this a shot again. Oh, I really don't know why they hate AEW so much.
Stupid idiot.
I love Danielson, but he says that they have a megastar because of AEW. We read that. So Josh Alexander had this to say as well, sticking up for AEW. He's like, if you believe what you read online, I just went with the highest bidder. The truth is that the money schedule and things like that didn't play into my decision as much as looking at the pool of talent I wanted to work with. There's a specific reason I signed where I did. I chose AEW because I want to be there. Yeah, that's true, but he also did choose it because of like Maple Leaf Pro and his allegiance to Scott D'Amore and stuff like that. So, yes, being able to work everywhere. Like, I don't want to say Alexander's a fucking liar, but for sure, AEW gave him more money, a lighter schedule, are letting him be the world champion in MLP, and they have a little partnership there. And all of those things, and I guarantee that did play a huge factor in your shit. And I'm not one to tell people what they really think or whatever the fuck, but come on, buddy. Come on, buddy. And he's like, I'm not your buddy guy. And I'm like, I'm not your guy, friend. So Danielson comments on AEW CEO Tony Khan's leadership and how he's evolved as a boss. Not at all, by the way. He hasn't at all. This is cope right here from Danielson. What's the cope? Let's see if we find the cope in this. He says, I haven't been there the whole time, obviously, but during the time that I've been there, he's gone through phases where letting people in and then sometimes realizing that he's letting too many people in the sense of the decision making and that sort of thing. But he's always been great to work with. And one of the things that I like is he really respects talents' point of view on things. He's a great boss to work with. Now, again, I'm not trying to be a shithead here, but Danielson gets paid a lot of money and is going to absorb this company if anything happens to Tony Khan. And I've seen sickos online be like, oh, you really think he's going to do that? Yes, Tony Khan said it from his own mouth. And that's why Triple H is like, fuck that. And he's not fond of Danielson and he doesn't care for Brie. That's another big reason. The people Triple H are positioning are very, or Tony Khan's positioning might not be too fond of Triple H. So new mock images, MOC images, Mariah May Jazzwares AEW Unrivaled. Buy the new Mariah May figure from AEW Jazzwares Unrivaled 18. Like, what the fuck, man? Just give it up already with this shit. Are they making money on their toys? Like, my problem with this is you go to any fucking toy store, and I don't collect these figs like I used to when I was a kid, but you go and, like, I'll just look. Everyone will creep. I'll go look if they have WWE stuff sometimes, you know, you look around. There is always all the WWE stuff rifled through, and the AEW shit's always overloaded with like Chris Statlander dolls and shit and like Sheeta dolls. And you're like, what the fuck? It took them all this time to come out with a Mariah May? Who? Bryan Danielson says there would be no Cody Rhodes and CM Punk in WWE if it weren't an AEW for AEW. And it's like, what a retarded fucking way to word that. These fucking dirt sheets. Do you agree with Danielson's take? WWE really wants AEW out of the picture? So Danielson says, I would think most wrestlers in WWE want AEW to keep existing because it's good for them, but certain people there obviously don't want us to exist. I'm not saying anything bad about them. I'm just saying I'm curious as to why they desire that. Because, Danielson, they humiliated Punk. They treated him like complete and utter shit. Because Tony Khan called people bald assholes. Because Tony Khan screamed about the Friday Night Wars in court. Because he shit on Undertaker and John Cena. Because he disrespected people's wives. Danielson. This whole fucking, I'm not really sure. Just blissfully ignorant, man. And people are like, Danielson loves reading books and shit. And it's like, cool. He is a dumb guy. I'm telling you right now. I called it a long time ago, too. And I've said it like early PWT. I called it out where I was like, listen, Danielson is a dumbass. Like, he will fucking, like, even though Jim Cornette's put him over and shit, I've seen him on an indie, like, restart a match when the ref counts it the 3 as a shoot, and it wasn't supposed to be the pin, and he didn't get his shit in yet. All of his shit in. So he's like, oh, we're restarting this match to get his shit in. I've seen that like on the indies and shit before he was in WWE. He's like a super indie mark guy, you know, and that's all good. I love Danielson. I love his body of work. He's one of my favorites, man. The Yes Movement will live forever. He's one of my favorites for sure. His style is awesome. But there's old school guys like Jim Cornette and shit who put him over. And it's like, if you guys seen his indie shit and stuff, and now what he's doing in AEW, it's hard to defend. And when he says shit like, yeah, you know, I'm not really cleared, but I put on a Blue Panther mask and dove out of the ring with a suicide dive or whatever, it's like, you're a fucking dumbass. You are fucking stupid, bro. You have a metal rod in your, you have kids. Like, what are you fucking, this is crazy. And then him just being ignorant towards all of this Tony Khan shit. It's like, okay, dude, it's a clear-cut reason why they hate on AEW. It's not because the fans, they waited till this period to do it, till this point as well. And think about it. When Vince was in the picture, he's just like, oh, that fucking company, whatever. Triple H and HBK took it more personally. It was personal insults towards them. Brandy Rhodes was personally insulted. Cody Rhodes was personally insulted. CM Punk was personally humiliated and insulted. Holy fuck, man. You read all these books. You don't have like an inner monologue. You don't have fucking, you don't have any like objective viewpoints on why they might hate Tony Khan. I just don't get it. What are you fucking, Jesus Christ, bro? Please get your brain scanned every year. Please. I beg you. TNT Sports parent, I'm being harsh, but I gotta call it out. I made a video. There's a clip. You can go on my channel. Bryan Danielson is stupid or whatever. It's harsh, but it's like we're always chronicling just dumb shit he says. It's like, what is up with this guy, man? Too many flying headbutts or something. TNT Sports parent Warner Bros. Discovery is suing Sling TV parent Dish Network, challenging a new $4.99 day pass that includes TNT and TBS. Disney recently sued over the same Sling TV pass that included access to ESPN and ESPN2. So that's fucked. Shout out WBD and Sling for being in shady ass deals, I guess, with everybody. So Bryan Danielson says he doesn't understand. Okay, we covered that. I bookmarked a bunch of these same things here. So Pat McAfee reacts to Tony Khan's father, Shad Khan's motivational speech to the Jacksonville Jaguars. He was like, oh, you know, it was great. We beat worst seeded team. Let's get it forever. It was a straight up Tony Khan promo. It's like, oh, we know where he got this.
Liam Cohen's a damn good coach down there.
Really good coach.
You really like Liam Cohen?
I really do. He comes from McVay, so he's doing the same stuff.
And then Stoner, the young GM, he's aggressive out there. And Shad
Yeah,
Khan.
best owner in sports right now, Shad Khan.
Well, the big three have something to say about that here in Indianapolis.
Yeah, but are they afterwards holding the ball and say, hey, we just won our first game and it's going to last forever? No, they're not.
Run it, please.
This is what we be to do this season. Every game, forever. In January, okay? It's happening here in September. Gonna go on forever.
Tony's done the same shit forever. You guys remember that? We need the side-by-side. Someone do a side-by-side and tag me in it.
I love that. Kind of good promo in there.
I love that.
He knew the audience. Yeah. He read the audience. I know what we're doing here. We're going to do this forever. This night never ends, man. Yeah. I hope that happens. I love Shad Khan. He has invested a lot to them. I do hope they play well. Liam Cohen.
Yeah, dude. They just don't know what they're doing running these fucking sports leagues. AEW star Maxwell Jacob Friedman and Andrew Kingbach Bachelor latest to join Violent Night 2 from Universal in 87 North. That Violent Night movie, I wasn't the biggest fan of it. I gotta be honest. It's the one where David Harbour's like Santa Claus, and then he like takes out what were they, burglars or whatever the fuck? I don't even know. There was that one as well where that little girl was like a vampire and they feed the burglars to her or whatever. I don't know, man. I wasn't a big fan. A lot of people put those movies over. I just wasn't a big fan of them. And it's like a whatever brainless movie you just kind of throw on, I guess, if you like action sequences and shit. It wasn't the worst thing ever, but did well for them. And MJF and King Botch to me, and this is no offense, like King Botch guy, he got famous from Vine. And he's done a good job of sort of like shaking that like part of himself off, and he's landed some good movie roles and written some things. But I just find him kind of corny in movies. I don't think he's that good of like that great of an actor. And I think this is like, okay, he's in it, I guess, for like his fan base. Maybe he's got a loyal fan base. MJF's in it, good for him. And it is a movie, though, that you can say, like, hey, there's been eyeballs on it, and there will be for this. I'm going to watch it for sure. I'll throw it on around Christmas time because there's no, like, new Christmas movies. So whenever, I'll watch it. But MJF and King Bach, or whatever you call him, Batch, whatever, they will be murdered, likely, by David Harbour in this film, if I had to guess. So there you go. Stay on the lookout for that. So Jericho was in this rented LA podcast studio space or whatever state they're in or city or whatever. And Darby Allin discusses his successful Mount Everest climb with Chris Jericho. And let's hear what he had to say. He was also on Steve-O's Wild Ride. And I will check out Steve-O's Wild Ride from time and time again. It's not my favorite pod, but he'll have cool guests that you don't really expect from time to time. I'll say time to time again, because it's time to do it again. And Darby was on it, and I just completely passed over it, but it did do 220K views, so not bad for Steve-O or an AEW wrestler. And Darby's like friends with Tony Hawk and Bam Margera and all these guys, so he's beloved in that community. And he's talking to Jericho here.
Always said, it's not so much about conquering Everest as it is conquering yourself. Mm-hmm. And I really felt, I'm like, I don't need a whole lot to say, oh, you did it, as long as like I know in my heart that I.
And you're like I headlined WrestleMania. I'm in an exclusive.
The fucking audio person's pissed at Jericho.
Exclusive club of only 42 matches that headline WrestleMania, and that's a big deal, especially in our world. But you're one of an exclusive class of 10,000, 20.
Jericho, pull that fucking mic up. You guys hear those cracklings? And it's because they had to do the audio like in post. You can hear it. I can hear the room noise.
1,000, the smallest minuscule percentage.
When Jericho's speaking, I can hear like the fucking air conditioning in their room and shit.
The entire.
I think it's less than that. I'm looking it up right now, Chris.
The history of the human race that ever climbed Mount Everest, and that's unbelievable when you think about that. Just how incredible that statistic is.
As of December 2024, 7,000.
Oh my gosh.
269.
7,269 human beings in the history of the world where billions of people have existed.
Yeah.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah, it's something I don't take for granted.
Yeah, that is pretty cool. It is cool that he did that shit. But now he's getting beat up by Daniel Garcia and stuff. So I don't know how cool that is. We may need Carlito out here to spit in the face. And that, ladies and gentlemen, was AEW News. Ichi-ni-san da. Okay. Let's take a look at what we got here to do in this show. What do we have left? Let's check in with chat here. Let's get Flutes in the chat as well. I think it's time we get many of Flutes in the chat. Many of Flutes. And let's check in with chat here. How we doing tonight? Round of applause for you guys all being tuned in here tonight. And for me for being an excellent host. In the chat, I'm gonna drop the Dave Meltzer Dumb Moment of the Week official playlist, guys. Here's like the discography. It's every fucking dumb moment. So if somebody wanted to make me an omnibus or something, that'd be really fucking cool. So that's the link. I don't know if you guys can see it there. You know what I'm saying? So make sure you go and check that out. And yeah, we want to see flutes in the chat because you guys know what time it is. And let me copy this over here as well while I'm doing linksies. Doing linksies. Damn. What a fun night. There's a lot going on, but nothing too like groundbreaking other than that WrestleMania news. You know, I think that is the one that's going to have people melting down the most. But again, it like broke as I was coming on the air. So, here, let me check in with you guys. I just want to pull something up here. Make sure I'm prepared. Okay, that should work out well. So, ladies and gentlemen, let me check in with chat. Actually, Kenneth Douglas has been a member for 6 months. Wow, thank you so much, Kenneth, for your 6 months of membership. Guys, if you're watching, there's about 300 of you. If you're on X, come on over to youtube.com/@ProWrestleClips. Make sure to like and subscribe. That's a free way to support what I do. If you want to become a member, it's only 99 cents. You get access to my bonus shows on Monday. They're a little more personable. We still do news and stuff, but we chop it up. Typically, we watch Raw, but sometimes we do other shit. And yeah, thank you so much. You guys can gift memberships. Consider becoming a member. Super chats are always welcome, and just anybody who's supported, I really, really, really fucking appreciate you guys. Round of applause for the PWT universe. Just being here. Come say what's up. Come say what's up. Hit that subscribe button. We're like 6 away from 7,100, I think. So, or 5 away or something. So run those up, and I appreciate you guys. I think I said that like last week, but I always do, I over exaggerated where I was because I don't know, it's fucking in one ear out the other. Claudios, Evil, Brian's Butterfly, Divas Belt, Sensitive Souls, flutes. Yes, all of the flutes. WWE wants AEW out of business. Yeah, it's because of what TK said. It's just, that's the only answer. Brian's like, what could it be? It's a personal thing. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, it is time for everyone's favorite segment, and it is called Dave Meltzer's Dumb Moment of the Week. Yes, we did it again, man. Another one. Yes. So here is, we watched this. We watched the clip in full of the fight, the debate between Bryan and Dave Meltzer. So just because it was so funny, let's have a little refresher, okay? Shall we? Their clip version. Bryan! Well, a refresher. Actually, we're not going to watch these clips. We're going to watch Alfred Kanua's counter. A clip from youtube.com/@ProWrestlingBits is friend of the show, Alfred Kanua, @ThisIsNasty. That is his YouTube channel, and he posted this. Dave Meltzer, notoriously slow adult, interrupted Bryan Alvarez 30 times in 2 minutes. I'm starting to think that Dave Meltzer does all this studying and learning in the portable classroom at the end of this school. So here's Meltzer interruptions versus Bryan interruptions. Let's take a look.
I knew you were going to say that. Hold on,
true.
Dave.
It's
listen.
true.
No, listen to me for a second.
Yes.
You said we all learned from July 12th. Okay.
We sure did.
Listen, there is one thing we learned.
Yes.
There's one thing we factually learned. Okay.
Yes. That they can go in the afternoon for a US
Hold
show,
on a second.
as they did there, and
Dave?
they can do 180,000 buys for an afternoon show, which they've also done for All In. So
okay,
we
hold
know
on.
they can do big.
Can I continue this before you cut me off? We
Yes,
know
go ahead.
one thing.
Yes, that they can
We
do
know it might have done well because it went on first.
I'm not saying it would.
Here's my thing, Dave.
But here's okay. Wait. Okay, here's the thing.
Pay-per-view.
No, we only know.
Here's my thing. Oh, wait. Okay, here's the thing. Is that Dave like giving him permission to continue his thing? It's so their fucking dynamic is so weird.
Head with WWE main roster show. Collision was the same as a pay-per-view.
No, but Dynamite is their biggest show of the week.
And Goldberg's retirement and all of this. And it didn't matter to the AEW pay-per-view. We don't know what would happen if you put these head-to-head. We don't know. It's never happened that they will be killed if they go head-to-head with the WWE show. Okay, but hold on, Dave.
So we're gonna for no reason now, we're going to.
No, there is a reason. Can I say my thing? Because he has moved.
It's not worth. Is it worth the risk?
For me as a billionaire, yes. So if they run head-to-head on pay-per-view, hold on. If they run head-to-head on pay-per-view,
if they have a better show,
and it turns out, and WWE going head-to-head doesn't affect them.
If they had a better
no, here's why.
If it was a weak show,
like you can't even count them. You know,
if it was a weak show, I would say the same thing.
Okay, may I?
Suicide.
Here's the thing.
So what's the point?
Hold on. Let me tell you the thing.
All right.
Hardcore fans.
Okay.
Do you remember why AEW started and why they got so much traction at the beginning?
Okay,
because hold on.
Such a shill. Like he just can't let Alvarez get his point across at all because he just has to. Like it's just such a narcissism, fucking sociopathic thing where he just literally cannot allow this guy. He just can't understand. He can't read the room and just understand like. Yeah, let him get his thing off because you're just going to defend it anyways. We already heard what you have to say, Dave. Because before this, he's already explained ad nauseum. Tony already listened to him. He backed off. So this is just so... I don't know how Bryan gets slapped around like this.
Oh, hold on. No, wait a minute. This is where you're wrong.
Can I finish my thing first?
Oh, no, wait. No, it's an important point, okay?
In fact, of the AEW audience...
60%.
Pay-per-view.
It's not impossible. That's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
I counted a 31 there. I don't know if
I knew you were.
That's funny, man. So you cannot overstate how much of a fraud and selective data cheerleader Dynamite Dave Meltzer is on behalf of Tony Khan. This is per Meltzer said what he has been the biggest detriment of their growth. I agree fully. And so WWE Saturday night's main event on NBC, not including Peacock. Okay, so what is the point he's making here? Ratings analytics, okay. This does not include viewing on Peacock, which simulcast Saturday night's main event. Data for viewership on Peacock is not available. It's not tracked by Nielsen. And he's responding to himself, pointing out how Tony's once-a-year WrestleMania Stadium show did one of AEW's biggest pay-per-view buy rates, and WWE aggressively drew its worst rating for the July 2025 SNME, which was a whopping 69K viewers lower than the Jan 2025 episode with the same demo rating. Oh, Jesus. Yeah, so he's just pointing out how Dave will get outraged about one thing and then not the other thing, or he just doesn't keep the same energy when it comes to calculating these ratings and shit. We already know all that. And then I tweeted this out. Why you so worried then, bro? So Trevor Dame's like, eventually, if WWE keeps counter-programming AEW, it will hurt them. Maybe not every time, but sometimes. Doesn't matter if you move or go head-to-head. There's no win for AEW. There's just picking the best out of a series of bad options. And then Dave Meltzer says, on July 12, Tony blinked his way into his fourth biggest pay-per-view in history. Blinked his way. Oh, he didn't even try? He's so good. Imagine if he tried. Blinked his way. Yeah, because he's a billionaire. He just bought his way artificially into the history books of this thing. Just like I said, WWE aggressively drew its lowest rating on NBC and then got moved off of its most watched platform 1 year into a supposed 5-year deal. That isn't going to happen on 920, but it's still the most effective response. Oh my God. He thinks any of the WWE shit has anything to do with AEW. We have to stop this. Like, AEW doesn't affect WWE. WWE affects AEW. Period. Until AEW has 1 million people watching on normal TV every fucking week on Dynamite again, they don't affect anything. It's just WWE's they're just playing with their food. Okay, here's a fucking Dave. This popped me so hard. Whoever made this, or be evil, shout you out, guy. Amazing. So Meltzer says that after being up in the air, he's Rhodes and Drew for the title is once again planned for Palooza. So he's just like, it's planned. Oh, it's not planned. Oh, it is planned. Oh, it's planned. It's not planned. And he says, I also want to make mention because this has not been announced. But if actually you watch SmackDown, he says it matter-of-factly after we already know because we watch these shows. And what this tells me as well is that Dave Meltzer, some of the tweets he had that came out, or some of the quotes from the Observer Radio as well, I think he quickly rushed in all of his WWE quote-unquote watching while he's typing for AEW and CMLL. I think he just spends a day at the end of the week watching all the WWE shit quickly. Okay, I'll watch Raw, NXT, and SmackDown really quick. And I swear that's what he's fucking doing. Because all of a sudden now he's like, actually, if you watch the show, it's like, yeah. So are you saying you don't watch the show? Like, Dave, we say if you watch the show to you because you seem like you don't watch it. But you're stating, well, actually, if you watch SmackDown, why? Is that a Freudian slip? Like you're admitting you don't actually watch it. And so you're correcting your report before and going, well, if you do watch it, you would know, actually. Fuck, man, he's so stupid. Would have figured it out when they announced they were going to be Drew McIntyre, Orton, blah, blah, blah. Cody Rhodes is scheduled now for WrestlePalooza against McIntyre for the championship. The Orton match was going to take place first, but they didn't know if they would, do it on the pay-per-view. I know the Cody thing was up in the air. Why are they calling it a pay-per-view, though? Isn't it just on a streamer? Oh, you have to pay $30. A premium. Is it a pay-per-view? I don't know why he's doing that now. I presume it was because they didn't know for a fact that he would be done filming by the 20th. That's what I was told in the middle of the week. That it's like, if he's back, he'll be on the card. And if he's not, it's going to be Orton and Drew. It's Rhodes and Drew, Brian. So that makes the card even stronger. So just burying fucking Orton and saying it makes the card stronger. Triple H says he'll be there. Dave doesn't know shit about these people's filming schedules. I don't even want to hear that for 1 second. So Ace Humphreys is like, still crazy if you think about it. Wheeler Yuta has more 5-star matches than Angle, Triple H, and Brock Lesnar. Yup. Crazy's the right fucking word, dude. I would call it fucking Meltzer fever, dude.
Oh my God, it's the greatest thing I've ever seen.
So Dave Meltzer saying the word is out that AJ Styles' contract is up in February, and whatever the situation is, like, actually, obviously it happened on television, okay? It's not a shoot, okay? But they're doing, some kind of storyline, and I think, the idea was that they did it on the foreign show and not the U.S. show. It's kind of clever because if it was on the U.S. show, everybody would go, it's storyline, but it was during the commercial. So now people are going like it wasn't scripted. So what is Dave saying? The idea was that they did it on the foreign show and not the US show. Dave, it happened in Milwaukee, dude. Weren't they in Milwaukee?
Stupid idiot.
Oh my God. Did we just catch him lying right here? He didn't even watch it. This is what I mean. He doesn't know what time it was on. Chat, am I just like is my dyslexia flaring up here? And we're the kids with dyslexia. My dyslexicness flaring up. What the fuck is going on? Hold on. It wasn't scripted. I don't know what the angle is. Bro, they were in Milwaukee, Dave. So you didn't watch it. So I'm right. You just binge watch all this shit like after it even happens. You fucking didn't even. This motherfucker watched it at a later time and then forgets that it wasn't on like in the afternoon again or what? What he's saying is the only international people saw it. Oh, during. Right. Oh, yeah. Because it was during. Okay, good. Okay, good. Because I was about to say, Dave, what the fuck, man? Jesus Christ. Yeah, okay. So the international crowd sees it during the commercial, so it doesn't matter. Dave, it's the age of the internet, bro. Dave's so behind the fucking times. It's just unbearable, man. It's unfucking bearable. Now, was it a shoot? Probably not. But the level of intrigue, like, we don't know, man. Cross worked himself into a shoot. We don't know. So I wouldn't be so dismissive just yet. But Dave says, I don't know what the angle is, but it is a unique angle that they are working on something to do with him. Contract being up, and I don't know how much longer he's going to go, because when he signed the new deal, it was a short-term deal. So that tells me that when he signed the deal, that he wasn't planning on wrestling much longer. So it may be a way to kind of call attention to farewell stuff. Gee, you think, Dave? So I wrote this to the tune of Cat Scratch Fever. Flip, flop, Meltzer. Dun, dun, dun. And Dave Meltzer said AEW ratings aren't close to WWE, but for TV in 2025, they are generally quite good. Which, I mean, that's all maybe, dude. I don't know. Good compared to what? You know, there's a lot of shit that doesn't get a lot of eyeballs. That is true. But now he's saying they aren't even close to WWE. But like 3 weeks ago, he's trying to say AEW could have beat Raw. And if you factor in the numbers and the global, they're actually touching Raw numbers regularly, is what he was trying to peddle out there. Now he's being more tame. Why? Pourquoi? Well, because Phil don't miss, and it's what I've fucking told you guys 100 billion times with this whole ESPN thing.
Just in, we have confirmed that Dave Meltzer fears PWT and flutes.
There's going to be real people talking about numbers and shit that are just going to embarrass Dave. And he's not going to be able to bullshit his way. Like, his card's going to get pulled so much now that they're on ESPN, just by the fact that it's on ESPN. It's just like when UFC got on like Fox, more people had to take it serious. When they got on ESPN, way more people had to learn the sport and take it fucking seriously and understand it. It's the same with WWE. It's on ESPN. You're going to have like legit fucking people. That's what Dana White didn't know too, walking into boxing. Like, no, dude, some of these boxing reporters are fucking ruthless, and they're not going to sit there and listen to your bullshit. Like, you haven't banned all the fucking real banned all the fucking real reporters from coming to the events and shit, you know? And people are like, Ariel's not banned. He's so fucking unwanted, Ariel Helwani. He's so unwanted at UFC pressers. And Dana doesn't even do him anymore. He just dip, dives, ducks, and dodges all these fucking tough questions. And so there was this boxing reporter just grilling him today. It was so funny to see about fighter pay. But Dave is just going to get cooked. Like, you're going to get people who like report ESPN shit, like quote tweeting him and being like, you're a dumbass. And it's going to be so funny. And that's why he now has to like back off with this. I'm telling you, he's going to get his card pulled so hard soon. And I wrote this. Notice how the Wrestling Observer posts are less incoherent and Dave Meltzer isn't melting down on people this week. Notice how he's even walking back as AEW is close to WWE ratings talk. Either someone talk to him or else he knows what I've been saying is going to happen. Come WrestlePalooza is going to happen, or both. I wrote is going to happen twice. I'm a dyslexic redact. So WON reports Collision rebound of 300. Just look at how they cover it. AEW Collision viewership and key demo rating rebound, which I guess it is technically a rebound, right? So I'm not going to get too caught up on that. It's not even like a clickbaity thing. It is a rebound, right? Like it does like 300K. It did like 150K. It rebounded back to, okay, I'll give you that. WWE Raw on Netflix September 1 episode hits record low global views. So he just can't wait to write and post all of that. And again, if that was AEW, it would be like record low views in different time slots. But he doesn't add that for WWE because he's trying to create a narrative. It's all about narrative for Redacts. You know what I mean? So Off the Top Media says Raw was on in the afternoon on a holiday weekend. These numbers are from last week, not yesterday. Dave goes, it's Netflix. The entire service is based on watching at your convenience. As far as holiday weekend, the story I'm working on will compare it with Labor Day last year. Then compare AEW anything to AEW last year, Dave. You don't do that, though, do you? Because you're a fucking
Liar! Liar! Tell us what you know, you goddamn liar!
And so he says, if you want to learn, you'll know the increase or decrease. The ball of learning is in your court. Dave, no one's learning anything with you. Stop spurging out and telling everyone you need to learn.
Learn, baby, learn.
You lie.
Meltzer Inferno.
You're a fucking liar and a hack, bro. You say one thing, then say the other thing immediately after. No matter how hard you try, bro, it's just worse for you. So Meltzer had this to say about SmackDown. SmackDown had a rating because of AJ Lee and Brock Lesnar. It's actually amazing how much they meant. Last week, SmackDown did a record low, and this week's show was against the NFL. Without Lee and Lesnar, they'd legit be 400K lower. Legit. And then Disco's like, what an expert. And it's like, Dave, keep the same energy for AEW. He never will. We're just over here begging into the void. So again, we've owned Dave with this, but somebody pulled his card again, and he knows it's going to keep happening. So we covered this already, where this guy's like, do we know reasoning on why AEW doesn't publish max numbers? And Dave said this, and we covered Niccolo Piccolo just burying him for this stupidity. And Meltzer says they don't know them. AEW doesn't know the numbers. The NBA doesn't even know their max numbers. Dave, shut the fuck up. Yes, they fucking do. Producers of TV shows on Max and other streaming services don't know their numbers. Confidentiality is the highest, even tougher than getting pay-per-view number. Now, I went over this. He's right that confidentiality is one of the highest bargaining tools, or it was. Again, because you're behind the times. You're just learning about streaming. So Dave is typing in what's important in streaming into Grok or ChatGPT, and it's telling him, well, these people hide the numbers, things like Netflix, and it's really caused a problem. Yeah, that was 5 years ago. Hollywood's caught on now. They get the numbers, so these streamers can't fucking hide them. And they flex them when they're important. How do we know? Well, the LeBron James Mavericks game that we go back to time and time again. Max and HBO and everything got flexed how they did 128,000 views or whatever the fuck on Max and millions overall across all their fucking things, right? So Dave is just so full of shit. Niccolo Piccolo broke it down. But then right here, DC Studios Superman engaged 527,000 U.S. households in its first 3 days on PVOD, according to Samba TV and blah, 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 blah. And we made fun of Samba before, but it doesn't matter. Like, there's ways to get these fucking numbers and at least an inkling. Like, we can understand what AEW's not doing based on what people are willing to flex. Okay, so this was flexed. This 500K households watch Superman, which that's awesome. What a good flick. And so Dave Meltzer, he's had this to say, prelim numbers have Raw on 9/1 doing the lowest numbers to date on Netflix. As people know, they manipulate the numbers greatly. So I'll work on this and have a story put up shortly. And so Dave's too redacted to point out what Switchblade pointed out earlier in the show. We covered it. Switchblade was like, okay, they're up 5% in the minutes viewed overall, but they're down. They did a record low so far, and Netflix reported that. So Dave should eat, like, why wouldn't they fudge the numbers there? They could go, oh, we did record minutes viewed, so we actually had an increase in viewership. Or it wasn't a record minutes viewed. They had an increase from last week, right? So they could sit there and go, all this shit is boring and redacted. I fucking know. I'm so tired of this number bullshit talk. But listen, chat, and those of you listening at home and across the universe, Switchblade just simply pointed out this would be the week to fudge the numbers. This is how you know they don't, because they could have just lied and said, well, our minutes viewed are way up, and they wouldn't say we got record low viewership or whatever the fuck. And here's the other thing. Dave Meltzer tried to discredit and fucking hates Alfred Konuwa.
Poor people don't like AEW.
because of Fast Nationals and shit. I don't know why I played that drop. It was just there. Just trying to play the hits, get all the Meltzer shit out, right? Got to get my shit in, pal. Alfred was getting shitted on by all these people for him posting Fast Nationals. And they tried to discredit it and say the Fast Nationals are wrong and the Fast Nationals, they don't matter. And Alfred's a fraudster. He posts fraud numbers, blah, blah, blah. But then Dave is going the prelim numbers for Raw. So now he loves the early numbers. When he can sit there and say Netflix is lying to you, well, he's lying to people. So he says, as people know, they manipulate the numbers greatly. I'll work on this and have a story up. No one wants to see your bullshit. So this guy, Anthony Tony de Blasio, says, I get it. Facts aren't sexy anymore, but I have to call Dave out on this one. 9125 isn't the lowest rating on Netflix today. And Netflix does not manipulate numbers. It's about total minutes watched, minus commercials rounded to nearest 100K. Raw was 10 minutes longer and had 200K more minutes watched than 825.25. It's simple math, Dave. 5.2 million hours watched equals 312 million minutes. Divide 312 million into total show length without commercials. It's 126 minutes. So that's 2.4 million viewers. Easy peasy. There you go. He just broke down the fucking math for you, dude.
Oh my God, it's the greatest thing I've ever seen.
And you're going to sit here and try and spin it. They manipulate the numbers. They lie.
Best guy is Tony Khan.
Then why didn't they lie? All you have to do is answer this question. Why did they say they had a record low when the minutes are up? Because you don't even understand what the key demo is for Netflix and these streamers, because there's key demos. You dumbass. There's key demos. Okay? And you don't understand that they don't give a fuck about any of this fucking, the live viewer count and shit. That's such an out. You guys say it all the time. The Nielsen ratings don't matter because streamers. But why? Because streamers, you watch it when you want. And they do bigger numbers than for a bunch of shit than other than sports for the stuff that you want. And now they're getting into sports for the stuff that you watch live. That's why. It's literally because you watch the thing live, even like, the premiere episode of Buffy the Vampire Slayer. It's people watching it. It's a taped show, but they're all watching the airing live together. I guess you could use the word live, right? That's the whole point of it, and that's why it's dying. People just watch shit later. People binge. They drop 4 episodes at a time, so you can binge 4 episodes at a time. Why? Because they want you on the app for as long as you be on the fucking app. They want you watching the fucking show a bunch of times. They just want you fucking hitting play and going to sleep. That's a W for Netflix. They don't give a fuck. They just look at the minutes watched and shit like that, Dave. You're just behind the times. No one gives a fuck. You say shit's dated and then you do dated shit. That's why you get roasted. That, ladies and gentlemen, was Dave Meltzer's dumb moment of the week. And you guys know it
This
calls
just
for
in, we have confirmed that Dave Meltzer fears PWT and flutes.
Fucking amazing. What an amazing show. Over 300 watching right now, ladies and gentlemen. Round of applause for the PWT universe being goated. Check out youtube.com/ @Pro Wrestle Clips and @Pro Wrestle Times. Those are my channels, guys. Check out my Patreon. Thank you for all the support and all the love. This has been a almost 4-hour show. People are talking about, again, all the Hollywood trades understand why minutes viewed are measured the way they are, but only Dave keeps trying to reverse engineer this into something. Exactly. He just doesn't understand it. And the whole thing with, this is the other thing we got to talk about. The whole thing with well, I explained it. I guess I already explained it during the segment. I don't need to, but just that whole thing of it's a kept secret, the numbers. Yes, man, all the agents and everyone caught on to that. And if you're a big enough name, you can say, we need those fucking numbers. It's just that simple. They don't know. There's people out there whose jobs are to know this shit. Their whole job is to know what people get paid, how many eyeballs they bring in, how many minutes people viewed, whatever the fuck. It's their job to know, just because it doesn't get a report on it or someone legit. Like, Dave's such a good god dumbass. Okay, I appreciate you all for being here. Thank you all for being here. I love you all so much. Oh, before we go, though, doing a run-in.
I look and see it's not just me. So many others have stood where I stand. We are the young, so raise your hand. They call us problem child. We spent our lives on trial. We walk an endless mile. We are the youth gone wild. We stand and we won't fall. We're one and one for all. The writing's on the wall. We are the youth gone wild. Let me get wild. Yeah.
Okay, guys, maybe I'll stream Friday. I'll let you guys know. Maybe a run-in for SmackDown AAA. Maybe a members-only stream or something like that for Friday. I don't know. We'll see about it. I'll see you all in the Upside Down. Peace and love. Be good to each other.
I look and see it's not just me.
Jeff, why do you insist on doing this dumb internet shit on TV?
I look and see it's not just me.
This place is a fucking joke, man. You're a clown. I quit.
So many of us have stood where I stand. We are the young, so raise your hand. So many of us have stood where I stand. We are the young, so raise your hand. They call us problem child. We spent our lives on trial. We walk an endless mile. We are the youth gone wild. We stand and we won't fall. We're one and one for all. The writing's on the wall. We are the youth gone wild.
No. It doesn't make logical sense, but it makes.
Well, yes, of course.
But it makes wrestling booking sense. Of course, this makes no sense. Of course, okay, it makes no sense. However, in pro wrestling booking, which often makes no sense, you would do that. It's about making money. It's not about anything else. Wrestling's always been about making money first and foremost. That's it.
I look and see it's not just me.
Last weekend was the greatest weekend in AEW history. This is the greatest week.
I look and see it's not just me.
Security, my safety, my life was in danger at a wrestling show.
So many of us have stood where I stand. We are the young, so raise your hand. So many of us have stood where I stand. We are the young, so raise your hand. They call us problem child. We spent our lives on trial. We walk an endless mile. We are the youth gone wild. We stand and we won't fall. We're one and one for all. The writing's on the wall. We are the youth gone wild. They call us problem child. We spent our lives on trial. We walk an endless mile. We are the youth gone wild. We stand and we won't fall. We're one and one for all. The writing's on the wall. We are the youth gone wild. Let it get wild. Yeah.
If you're familiar with how we do things often here on these Wednesdays, it's a lot like one of my favorite movies, Time Cop.
What? Fuck you. Fuck you.
Yeah.
God damn it.